everybody. Welcome in. This is the transmissions and our very special Mass Effect story, Descent into Hades. This is episode 4, our finale of this little mini arc. I am very excited to tell the end of the story with these wonderful players. I am going to let them introduce who they are and who they have been playing. I'll start with myself. I am Emma or Humla on the internet. I am the storyteller for this game, the sovereign, use they them pronouns. Everybody else, who are you and who have you been playing?
Hi everyone, this is Kay Phoenix or Kay on the internet. I go by they them pronouns. I've had the pleasure of playing our Turian soldier boy, Adrian Nix, who goes by he him.
And I am Obadiah, also known as Joss Dyson on the worldwide interwebs, and today I will be playing Barak Sky Jordan, Krogan raised human vanguard, and the punchingest fightman to ever lay you outright.
Everyone, I'm Ben, old mad Ben on most social media, and producer Ben for the transmissions. I will be playing Jareth Bow, the slightly neurotic Solarian infiltrator.
Is there any other?
Hi everyone, my name is Satan Orlis of Vamp Art on the internet. I go by any and all pronouns, and today we're playing our favorite girl, Nasana Danava, or Nasi to her friends. She's a she, her.
Wonderful. So yeah, this is the crew. These are the players, and we will be telling the end of our tale today. Our crew finally arrived on the moon, Kopis. Got to enjoy some low gravity driving across the rocky surface. Finding the base was proving difficult, and along the way they discovered a group within one of the craters. At first they seemed friend-shaped, but a rocket launcher later, and it was clear that we had some conflict on our hands. With biotic flare, grenades, charging with strength and precision shots, our group were triumphant against some blood pack mercenaries who were here mining for some minerals. As the crew left that location in search of their abandoned research facility, they once again stumbled upon a curious encounter. As they headed along a flat field of endless rock, a spot on the horizon looking a lot like a research facility, a strange ship flew overhead. This ship looked almost insectoid in a way, and a few beings dropped to the moon's surface. The group had to make a decision about what they were going to do. With some memories being recalled, and the ship's crew and the AI piecing together what is occurring, they realize that what they are facing are synthetic beings known as Geth. These beings have not been seen for almost 3 centuries. Why then are they here on this moon? Deciding to fight, the group were victorious after taking some bad hits. Injured and surrounded by inert synthetic beings, the group now has a clear shot towards the partially buried building off on the horizon. We're now going to join our group as they collect themselves and get ready for the final push. I would like to know from you all, are we jumping straight in our vehicle and heading off, or are we going to patch ourselves up first? You're kind of looking around at each other, evidently hurt, but all still standing, still got all your limbs. That's the important part, right? What are we doing, everybody?
Sound off whose heart?
Mm-hmm.
I'm fine.
Sound out.
I think
Yeah.
I'll just get back in the car.
Jareth
Nothing
is
interesting.
fine.
Nothing interesting. Let's keep moving.
Can you still shake your booty?
Yeah, well.
Or is your hip doing that weird, like, cracking, jingly, like, rally bone thing?
Oh, you want me to say just like
Yeah. Okay. Adrian, you good?
I'm okay.
Okay. Okay, back in the vehicle, everyone. Let's go. That was so weird. Did you see them? getting in,
Well, I guess-
hopping on, starting to drive.
Maybe it's some kind of AI thing, like emulating. I don't really know.
Susie said it was Unchaka AI.
Uncle John's.
Uncle John's. Unchaka AI.
Mm-hmm.
So that's bad. I mean, like, prison's like cool, but like, is she unshackled? Should we be worried? Are they unshackled? Do they become Geth? Are all AI Geth, or is that racist?
I feel maybe we gotta. How do we check? Can we like ask one?
Oh, well, I feel like Susie would know. I don't think
Is
we
it
could
racist
ask
to
one. Do they even?
ask?
I could ask Susie. I don't
Wait,
think
but
they're friendly enough to talk. I mean, I can try, but like my way of talking to people involves a lot of other things that I don't think they would be interested in.
like, is it racist to ask though? Like, do we just not say it?
I know. Let me check. She's gonna buzz into Susie. Hey, girly pop.
Hey.
Are like all AI that are unshackled Geth, or is that racist?
It's a little racist, girl.
Okay,
Yeah,
I
no,
wanted to
it's
make
not.
sure.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Okay, so that it is racist, guys. Okay,
Like they get their very specific kind,
so
and
like
they're
a
like a hive mind with each other.
subspecies. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
okay, I get it.
You know, it's like
Okay.
not all organic beings are humans. You know.
Yeah. Okay, that totally makes sense. Thank you, bestie.
Laters.
Later. Bye. Yeah. So that was like definitely racist.
Okay, we gotta. Should we apologize? Do we apologize?
I mean,
To who?
technically, we were discussing it. We
Mm.
were trying to like work things out. We didn't say it to their face. So if prison's listening, I'm sorry. I'm
Me
always
too.
assuming they're listening. So
Prism's definitely listening.
Yeah, Prism's maybe just choosing not to respond to you. Mm-hmm.
So it's just gonna be like every time we see one, we're gonna like, oh my gosh, shoot them out, or are we just gonna like try and avoid them?
Avoidance is always the best option. Very rarely is it the easiest option, though.
That is true.
Yeah, it's salvage mission. Yeah, we gotta first and foremost we gotta keep up the margins.
Indeed. If the opportunity presents itself to salvage a Geth, however, it may be worth considering. I suspect we would be
But
unique in salvage crews if we managed to do that.
but wouldn't that mean we would have a Geth with us, and wouldn't that be dangerous? Or it's
Indeed.
just like
I'm not suggesting that we should do it without careful thought, if that's something we're planning on doing, but it's possible that might be slightly worse than the Varan and the Pyjack that we already have.
that's true. I feel like you definitely deserve to get a Geth body. Would it be a body so like a computer? Can you upload another AI into it? What if we gave it to Prism?
Again, another possibility,
They could
I
have a
suspect.
body. That'd be so cool. Anyway, so we're sneaking.
Okay,
Yes.
so we're driving up and doing so in a
Yeah.
stealthy manner.
Sure.
In the
I'll come
remains
in
of our
from the
car.
back.
It's
Yeah.
rattling along, bits falling off.
It's listen. She's doing her best, okay?
She's doing her best.
Can we I'm not gonna make the vehicle roll, but I will just call it a group roll where you all collectively can roll, see how many successes we get on being subtle on our approach to this place.
What? Let's
Like
pull
stealth?
that up there.
Yeah.
30.
Ones are two
Oh, okay.
failures, 20s are two successes, but all we need is a majority success.
I got 18 plus 2, which is 20.
Adrian got 11.
Nice.
13.
Oh boy. Yeah, you know.
I can't believe I'm the stealthiest, guys.
Yeah, everyone
The
fully
bright
believes.
pink
Yeah,
spacesuit.
because well, the group check was to see how stealthy the car was. But you know,
If I'm driving the car, can I? Okay, thanks.
okay, so we approach. It'll take a little bit to get there. Like I say, we're being realistic in how long it actually takes to drive across the surface of a moon.
Playing my K-pop music. K-pop.
Yeah. Um, and you eventually get to an area where you can kind of see this structure. It doesn't look huge on the surface. It doesn't look like it is more than one story from what you see as you're approaching. The closer you get, you start to pick out some details. It does look like there is some manner of winds here. It is not a whole lot, given the nature of how gravity in the atmosphere here works. But this place does look like it has collected some space dust along one slope of the building. So it's not necessarily that it's been buried, but it almost looks like there has been a dust drift in a way. And it looks official. It looks fairly intact. You can see what is presumably the door, very well secured, given that entry and exit points are always weak parts of any structure on a planet where the physics is a little off. That's what you can see on the approach from this side, anyway. There's no windows because windows are weak points. And like I say, it doesn't look massive, and there's certainly only the one story as you're approaching. How close do you think you will get before you park?
Not close enough where the sound of their vehicle is obvious.
Mm-hmm.
So a little ways away. Should be like, I mean, I've definitely seen bigger.
It's
not
what you do with your
bad.
research facility that counts.
Yeah.
Okay.
Did I get
So-
advantage for that?
Sure. Do I get advantage for that? No, I will give you
Yeah,
advantage for that.
we'll give each other advantage.
Okay. Okay. Yeah, how far off do you park, would you say?
So probably about maybe 50 feet. Like I'm bad with distances, but
Uh-huh.
however far enough where it's not obvious that they're on the approach so that they can walk the rest of the way so like the car doesn't make a big sound for anyone
Yeah.
that's inside.
Okay.
I don't know, 50, 60, 100.
A
I'm
distance.
bad with distances. A
Yeah.
distance.
Sure. I mean, everyone is allowed to contribute. But yes, you can park up. It means you will have to walk over.
Okay, yeah.
Mm-hmm. So, how do we approach this? What are we doing, everybody, as we slowly get out of the vehicle?
We should be really quiet. Like really quiet.
Yeah, probably should be relatively quiet.
You're not being quiet enough, Jared.
This is the
He
lowest
says, speaking at the same
volume my
volume.
voice is getting. Yeah. This is the quietest my voice gets. I'll turn down my speakers on my helmet.
Mm-hmm.
Presumably, it's just a clear white open space between where we parked and the
Yep.
door.
Just
so
exposed. Yeah.
It's just like absolutely nowhere to hide. We just have to
Very
walk across it,
exposed.
basically.
Yes.
I know what I said.
I mean,
Yeah.
I can go invisible, so it's fine. I can just put my tactical cloak on and sneak. But
See you bitches later.
but it's fairly pointless when there's three of you that walking across that are visible, I might as well be visible too, unless someone starts shooting at us.
Unless the
You
rocket
could
launchers
be
come
a
out, in
threat.
which case you can always separate.
Okay.
I'm gonna
Adrian
walk
will-
behind Adrian and Jordan. I'm not doing that shit.
Hey, it's fine. Adrian will just have his Hawk missile launcher ready just in case this time they start shooting rockets at them again. So he can knock it out of the sky before it reaches them or the vehicle.
Well, you still even when even when you're pretty sure you're about to walk into a big old brawl, you pick your steps carefully. Stick to the alleys. Keep your feet light.
Love it. So we are on the approach. Do we now want to do individual stealth checks?
All right, let's make that.
Sure.
So this is no longer a group check.
Apparently, I'm more
7.
stealthy
It's
on my
not
own. 27.
All
I'm more
13s.
stealthy as a group. 7.
And Adrian got a 10. No one's surprised. He's a walking tank. And he makes a lot of noise.
Yeah. Okay, very
What
good.
the fuck is stealth?
We're all tripping.
Okay, so again, dice rolls are imaginary things to these characters. They don't know that they're not being super fucking stealthy.
Jareth does.
Jared's so
Correct.
aware of the
Like-
fact.
Gareth is
Head
very
in
aware
hand,
of this.
just
Yeah.
Edging slightly away from the group.
Yeah. Yeah, you got more than double the person who rolled the highest of your other group. Okay,
They just
so
don't see you.
we can see the front end of this building. Excuse me. No excuse to be yawning. I got plenty of sleep last night. Approaching the
Not
group.
enough oxygen.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah. I'm glad you've been learning the things I've been. You are approaching the front end of this building. Like I say, from what you can see here, it just looks like your average, well built. So it's not like temporary container style. It is a building that does not appear to be massive in size, but there is a door with a panel that the closer that you get has red light that implies that it is locked, and that is what you can see from the front end of this building. What is everybody's intentions as you get closer to this building? As you get to the door, the area, considering
Okay.
entry, considering what might be around you.
You have that universal red light lock.
Yes. It is universal. Red means no. Green means go.
So I think I'd just go straight up to the door and have a look and see if it's hackable or pickable, depending on which of the two is needed.
Hacking is necessary for these kinds of doors, yes.
So I'm better at hacking than I am at thieving, so it's all good.
Yeah, you kind of check it out. It looks like this might be quite advanced, but not impossible when you know what you're
Got
doing.
this.
What are the other three of you doing? Are you just standing back, being supportive people?
Yeah. Should have been a bard.
Jordan will like approach long enough to see like, oh no, this isn't the kind of door you jimmy open, and then we'll back off. Let Jareth do the work.
Legit.
Okay.
Yeah, Adrian will see if Jareth can get through the door, and if he can't, he's like, well, there's always grenades. Blow this
That's
fucker up, but that's not stealthy.
This is true.
Nazi's in the back going, you got this.
So we're
Okay.
just being supportive of one another. It's all on you then, Jareth.
Okay, so we'll do a normal hacking roll, which is
Mhm.
terrible.
Oh dear.
I can add a d4 to it, but that's a 1 as well, so there you go.
Can you,
I managed a
Ben
total of
Luck?
10.
Ben Luck, you could add an extra d4.
But no,
I don't know if it'll help, but it's probably going to be. Oh, 13 is better than
total.
9.
It's better than 9. It is not enough, unfortunately.
No.
Yeah, you tried to get in,
terrible.
and actually, in doing this attempt, you are concerned that this might trip something inside of the building if you really try to force your way into it. But no, it does not work. Everything goes red. Locked out for the next minute. Because that's the way these locks work, apparently.
That looked like it didn't work.
Normally the way they work is that I realise that I'm going to fail before I get to the point of failing and just leave and then come back and it resets. You can start again. With the stupid rotating circles. Is that the rotating
Can't
circles?
fail if you don't finish.
Yeah, rotating. Well, I don't know. The hacking is the basically making pairs of the symbols. Yeah. Or the code. The code's more for the computer, I guess. Yeah, it was very much matching up symbols, I suppose. The circles one can be a pain in the butt, though.
Yeah, it was a pain in the arse. Can't I just override it with Omnigel?
Well, sorry, my body's decided to throw everything that it can do at me.
I feel that. That was me 30 minutes before this call.
Yeah. Yawning, sneezing. What's next?
Do we just wait, or?
You got it. You got it.
I mean, I can have another go. Presumably, it's harder the second time round, but
yes, it would be harder the second go around, which is not impossible, but maybe people could try to assist or find another way in.
And while this is happening, can I be looking around for another entry point while he's doing it?
Yes, you could go and do a quick perception check or investigation.
I would like to do perception.
Sure.
17. I have -1 investigation. So.
Love that. All right. So Nassie's going around to do that. What are the other two doing while she disappears off?
Go ahead.
Let's see. Jordan is gonna start kind of like searching the immediate area, see if there's a physical mechanism for the door.
Mm-hmm.
Like maybe the computer can be bypassed by way of oops, made the lock spin.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so you're investigating more of this door and its mechanisms.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was I mean, what skill would you like to apply to that?
Okay, I think under the circumstances, it's just got to be investigation.
Yeah, investigation makes sense. Adrian, what are you doing?
Adrian, he'll probably use his engineering knowledge to try and see if he can find a way to bypass the panel without completely blowing off the door. So maybe like blowing up a small grenade to like blow off a piece of the panel so that it what is that called? Frazzles and just opens.
It's a fairly small panel next to this door, but it means that you and Jordan are both investigating this panel to see if there's alternative methods of getting into the door. You can
roll engineering.
I don't know that engineering. It's not.
Okay.
If you're just trying to figure out how to blow it up, which is less engineering and more investigating for weak spots, essentially.
Sure. All right, let's roll investigation. You got a 12.
Yeah, it's not good.
Yeah.
The two
are not doing well.
You know that one scene in Zoolander where they've dressed up like monkeys and they're trying to figure out how to get into the computer? It's starting to feel a little bit like that. While Jareth is standing, maybe hands on hips, just leaning over, like,
head
God, just
resting
gonna
on the
wait
door.
for it. Nasi, you head around, go around a corner. There's a fairly long wall for you to walk down. There's not any other weak spots or entry points that you can see to begin with. There's no additional doors or windows here. It is just a solid. It's hard to judge whether it's concrete, but it looks like it could be something similar. Eventually, you're gonna get to a spot down the back end where what you find is a section at the back of this building that appears to have been destroyed in some way. It's a little hard to judge exactly what has happened here. There is definitely weaknesses and a small either entry or exit. I don't know that you have the wherewithal to judge one way or the other in that regard. The reason that you will pull to a very sudden halt is that it becomes quite clear from that strange electronic croaking, the sounds of communication between something on the inside. It does not sound natural, but it does sound like communication in a language you do not understand.
I'd like to think that because Nasi was behind everyone, she just left. People still think she's there.
Mm-hmm.
And then all you hear is like, "Hey guys, I found like a weak spot in the bag, but there's also, I think, Gek talking here."
As she says that, Jareth, the thing will ping again, to suggest that you could attempt this door again should you want. But that's as she says this information to the three of you. What do we do?
The quickest way in is still through the front door, since that's where I'm sitting. So I will give it another go anyway, even though it was incomprehensible the last time I tried.
Mm-hmm.
This time I got
You got this.
24.
Heck yeah.
Incredible.
Still rolled
Okay,
a 1
so
on the D4 though. D4s.
yeah. You do finally manage to get. It's just complicated. The timer is really short on this one, but you do manage to hack the door panel while the other two are still about it. So this door will unlock. Nasi is down the other end of this building, apparently with Geth nearby, but this door is open to you.
It appears that the front door is unlocked now to Nasi.
Mm-hmm.
I knew you could do it.
Your assurances are somewhat offset by the fact that you're currently at the other end of the building, attempting to find an alternative route. But I thank you for your your confidence, nonetheless.
Well, you told me to always have backup plans. So.
This is true. It's always wise.
Yeah. So I thought I'd follow your wise ways. She says as she kind of bounds back.
Can you roll a stealth roll for me, please, Nasi?
Sure.
I'm gonna say disadvantage.
Oh, cool.
Given the nature of what is down there with you. Yes. I'm
3.
assuming by that laugh it's a D20. Oh no! Yep.
It doesn't even matter if I had advantage because that was my first roll, and then my second roll was an 8.
Nice. Incredible. So you have this conversation, out loud as you would into your mic, and then turn around to leave, and your very practical go-go boots cause you to stumble a little on the rubble at this point, and they are going to turn around, and you have been spotted. You become aware of it looks like some kind of drone that has come up and out of the thing and is now flown down in front of you. And the sound of things making sort of affirmative sounds at that entrance point, presumably to come and follow you. What do you do?
All you guys hear is uh-oh.
Uh-oh, indeed.
For your animal instinct, Jordan is pivoting immediately to get over there.
Mm-hmm.
So these things are coming after me.
Yeah. So you hear uh-oh. Instinct of Jordan is to go and get her. Nasi, these things are going to start shooting at you. So you're kind of fielding plasma rounds from this drone. A couple of them are going to hit you. You feel the impact on your shields. Is there anything that you would do in that moment to do something defensive?
Yes, she would actually pull up her biotic barriers.
Nice. So you're just like, oh gosh, and just like throw up a biotic barrier. So Jordan, just as you kind of turn the corner to see her running towards you in those very practical go-go boots with a big biotic field around her, as two drones now are shooting at her, and you can see a Geth appearing, seemingly smaller in stature from those that you were fighting before. They don't have the really big built up armor encasing around them. But nonetheless, they are there. So as she's running towards you with your biotic shield, do you do anything to respond, Jordan, or are you just going to cover her retreat?
Let's see here. Two Jordan's relatively untrained eye, and like kind of in this instant, does it look like this little Yeth is controlling the drones?
I would say that is rather hard to judge. You could try to roll insight, but given that they are machines, that sort of thing is going to be tough to do. I will not stop you from doing it, however.
Okay. I think
it's not yes, and it's
like
yes, maybe. Yes,
yeah, it's
maybe.
like a very
Roll for
immediate
it,
gut check.
Yeah.
Question mark, question mark. Nah, we don't have time for that, but we do have a shotgun. Let's
Yeah.
try and stop those drones and then that
Sure.
third thing.
Sure.
Roll attacks.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Let's get it. See here. I think it's this
Would
one's
you,
shotgun.
for a shotgun, would you try to close the distance, or would you wait for them to get close enough to you?
Yeah, he would try to close the distance. So I think that's 1 and 2. 12 and 14.
Second one, I'll say, does manage to get something off. So one of the drones do get hit. The other one whizzes out of the way of the bullet. But it's enough of a slight deterrent. One of them does take a bit of a hit and sort of it affects its flight pattern for a moment. It stops its shooting. You've closed the distance to at least get in line with Nasi. As she is running, do you continue to run with her like you're covering her to get around the corner, or are you going to stay and fight?
Yeah, around the corner. He's got you do have higher brain functions here, so just like Pop said, it's the smart the idiot Krogan goes all in every single time and dies as soon as he meets something that can take him. But the smart one stays focused, fights smart.
Yeah. I love it. Okay, so the pair of you whiz around the corner. Jareth, you, like I said, you've secured the entrance here. At least the door slides open to a kind of entrance way where you can tell that there's an air pressure system that is allowing you to enter here. Where are we heading? Are we heading straight in the door?
It seems sensible, unless we feel that we need to try and take out these drones first. Because we could get in, shut the door, and lock the door potentially.
You could.
Yeah, Jordan votes inside because, well, it's probably that there's probably more where that came from, and you know, we're here to we're here to profit.
Yeah. Do you sound like the the various NPC enemy soldiers like move move move?
It's everywhere.
Okay, so everyone is encouraged in through the door. As you get in, Jareth, you would be able to close the doors or anything you would like to do to the door now that you are in and the door has shut.
Given what I learned while hacking it, would I be able to just lock it by essentially just failing to override it or something, or just because it is lockable from the inside?
Yeah. I would say again, roll with the hacking tools. This is sort of like reverse engineering it to cause a lockdown.
18, 20.
Beautiful. Yeah, you're able to get that door shut very securely. It is going to require another roll to try and get out of here, I will say it. But you're inside.
Apparently there's a hole in the back wall.
Sure. Yeah. So we have entered into a space that doesn't serve much function beyond being the area where it sort of balances air pressure from what is outside to this space before moving further into the building. You assume that there are various things, much like the personal massified fields that you can create for yourselves and your vehicles. You can alter the gravity inside a building like this in some way, especially if it is advanced enough, which you're hoping a scientific research building can. Now that you are in, it looks like whatever function should happen in this room to do that. And those of you who would feel your character would be aware of that kind of process in a building would be thinking, that hasn't triggered. There's nothing that feels different about in here. It's not like you could take a helmet off. You're still getting the same sort of effects of realizing that your suit is helping you with gravity here and not the building itself. So it could be that whatever system it is that does that is currently offline. Would we keep it as such, or would we do something to try to...
Are there any obvious panels on the wall or anything that would allow us to control that, or do we need to go into the lab proper?
Yeah, there's probably a panel at the side that allows for workers here to essentially do it manually. That is kind of your instinctual feel for what that place does. You'll just need to flip down the panel, and there's various bits of mechanism here and switches and different doodads. I don't
know how these work?
Either to call it more than a doodad, but it is a doodad. There are doodads here.
Panel of doodads.
Yes, it's the technical term. It's what the Asari call it.
Jordan just raises a hand because I think they've worked together long enough that Jareth understands that his default suggestion for strange machinery is what if we punch it?
Yeah.
What if we punch it? I was about to say that.
Would a shotgun blast help in this situation?
I suspect not. It might. It might be that the machine is running and actively preventing what we need, and that shooting it will stop it doing that. I lean towards the alternative of it being the computer we need to turn on, however.
Well, that makes sense.
This is not Star Wars.
Yeah.
So does that mean we need to find a generator?
You're muted, Nessie. I think.
Oh, I think.
Well, your microphone's too far away.
Yeah. No, my
is maybe doing
Zoom
the
audio
thing.
is doing
Yeah.
the thing where it lowers me all the way down.
Mm-hmm.
Producer Ben, cut this out. Sorry about that, guys. That's all I said.
So what do we do?
So I guess I'll try and hack this one too.
Yes, that's an approach.
Glad I got hacking tools.
Yeah.
Wish I was better at using them. 16, 19.
19 is still good. Yeah, you're able to go in and do a kind of manual override to this room. You will see some lights coming on, and it does seem like it is correcting for pressure, for oxygen levels, and for gravity.
Nice.
At least in this room.
Well, if I have to keep doing this throughout all the rooms, I'm not going to bother. I think I'll just put up with my shit.
Yeah, you'll be like, you know what? Yeah. You suspect, well, you would be able to try and go in if anybody has something that would help them with just checking out a computer console. If there is a hole in the building at the back, that may be affecting one portion of the building from being able to function as it should. And also, you're an intelligent guy. The fact that the beings that appear to be here, or at least in at the back end, are these synthetic creatures that don't seem to be affected by life support. So they don't need it.
Yes, it may be a minor additional convenience for us, but make the most of it. I don't think it's going to be present throughout this facility.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Do we progress? No.
Yes.
When you head through this door into the main facility, I'm not even going to make you roll perception because the sign is quite large. It looks like this was a building connected to the corporation Synthetic Insights. The nature of the building is a bit hard to tell. It's one of those, this wasn't designed for public facing, so it doesn't need to explain itself beyond the basics of where certain things are. But there is one of those kind of, you are here and telling you what is on each levels, and it looks like this place goes down 4 levels. So although the surface level of this building is fairly small, it's just 1 level. There is clearly a bigger base as you go deeper down. As I had discussed earlier with my players, and a reminder to you and also our audience at home, this next stretch of your mission is definitely infiltration, and you guys deciding what kind of approach you want to take. I want you to declare actions to me, and we're going to see where your actions take us. You know that you're here to investigate this facility for anything that you feel you can scavenge. So it's whatever, the only limit is your own creativity and what could be here, and what your priorities are for what you're wanting to get out of this. Okay, so as you come in here, we can kind of see that section next to what looks to be an elevator. You're not sure if the elevator is working or not, but beside that is a door that suggests that there are stairs as well. And the floor that you're on clearly has buildings here too. And you know that because obviously it's Nasi, you went down a fairly long wall, with a back end that had a crack to it. So let's set intentions. What are the 4 of you doing? You can either set intentions individually or discuss it in character. I am going to assume that if you speak quietly enough into your comms inside your helmet, you can speak at normal volume to each other as players here on the stream, and that your helmet is able to keep it fairly quiet without giving you away.
We're switching our helmets to sneak mode.
Sneak mode, yeah. So feel free to discuss in character or out of character what your approach is, what you fancy doing, and then set intentions for what you're doing in this next little leg of your journey.
We should definitely stick together.
Yeah, we don't know what's in here, and we do know that something else is trying to get in, and probably won't be, and probably won't take them too long to figure out a way. So we gotta stick together, and I think we probably want to try and hit like central offices first, see if we can't get at least enough in the way of floor plans or whatnot to know where the high value stuff is likely to be. Then we can start working. Then we can start working through those.
Agreed.
It would also tell us what type of facility this was and what we can expect to find here. I also suggest we should be stealthy and quiet from personal experience. It's bad if you're not.
Yes, I feel it's safe to assume that whoever's trying to get in is in already. So we're not going to be meeting friendly people at any point. So we would be better off not meeting any people if we can possibly avoid it. But we should absolutely be ready for the eventuality that we do meet them, because that seems to be the way the day's going.
So try not to try to avoid them, but we might not avoid them.
Yeah, essentially.
Okay.
Try to avoid them, but maybe deal with them quickly if we do encounter them.
See, that's a much more concise way of saying that.
Noted. I will be more concise in future. Apologies.
And well, only check me, Jeff. But I figure if we can, we want to try and minimize weapons fire. Yeah.
Indeed, it may be unavoidable, but a very quick way to draw attention is to fire weapons in a quiet building.
I think that means I'm up front. No two ways about it.
Did you just Henry Cavill like your fist?
Absolutely.
Load the guns up. Okay.
I could be in the back or in the middle, but I can also make shields, so like you guys could also hide behind me. So, where do you guys want me?
You and Jareth in the middle. I'll take the rear.
Okay.
Fair enough.
She goes to lock arms with Jareth.
So like for a second you see like Jordan like jerk a little bit, like, wait a minute, did he just no.
Incredible. I'm gonna give everyone a little advantage for doing our little strategies there as a team, and I'm gonna give an extra one to you there, Obi, because that was funny. Okay, so we have a bit of a strategy. Are we exploring this floor first?
I think we should explore this floor first, guys. Okay. See, since we're already here, see what we can find. Yeah.
Okay.
Do you think there would be like a secretary desk here?
Yeah, or maybe a front office, something like that.
Yeah, might have some information. Sorry, Sovereign was speaking. What were you saying?
No, we good. Okay.
Sorry, the voices are talking to me again.
Yeah. So, for this floor here, I would like everybody to set an intention for something that your character individually is doing and the skill you would like to roll, and it is okay for the thing that you are doing to combo up with other people, to complement, to lend advantages, to add bonus points, etc. So what is your character doing as we progress beyond this little entranceway and into this floor? What's the intention? We could do it in order of our interest. For I don't know. You know what? Just go for it. Obi, you go.
So I think Jordan's first thought is, okay, let's try and like map this floor out real quick while we're moving. Like, get an understanding of at least where everything is. So if we have to double back, we know where we're doubling back to. And I feel like that's kind of like just a survival check to kind of like do that in real time, as it were. Like kind of like basically like build a mini map and push it out to the group.
Sure. What kind of skill do you think you're going to apply to that?
I think survival feels like one of those in the space future, that's just one of those practical skills you develop.
Yeah. Okay. Roll for that.
All right. And again, you know what? Let's cash in one of those
Yeah.
newly bought advantages to
Yeah.
try again. 15.
15. Very good. All right. I would say that is successful enough to create some kind of mini map, just as you note where doors are, taking into account the size of the building, doing some scans. If anybody does anything that would benefit from having some sort of mapped out mini map on your Omni tool, I will allow you to add a +2 to what you're doing. So, next intention. What are we doing? Who's next?
So I think I'm kind of just information gathering, trying to figure out what the purpose of this place is, and what sort of thing we're likely to find, and obviously whether or not there is anything to find on this floor. So it's just a kind of a generic investigation hunt, really, I think.
Investigation. Are you trying to find a computer to check out? Are you looking for files? Because for some reason in the Mass Effect games, despite the fact everything, quite literally everything, is digital, they have box files kicking around sitting on
like
shelves. I've never
data pads
understood
lying
that.
around as well, without stuff on the computer. So
just
I'd be looking for
data pads sitting around. We're looking for data pads that
data pads
conveniently
and documents lying around, basically.
Yeah, brilliant. Yeah, roll that investigation. I would say that may benefit from what Jordan did, so you will get to add a +2 to what you're rolling.
So that's a 17.
Nice. I would say that as you pick it up, there's a convenient little data pad set on one of the desks, along with various other bits and pieces. A couple things. You can tell from the entry that you can see that they're talking about being on a dig and looking through items that were found and brought back. The general language spoken seems to imply that this is some, whether it's archaeology necessarily, it's got the vibes of an archaeological research facility. A little token on top of that, you actually see, as you're kind of like leaning over the desk to pick up this data pad, the body of somebody who clearly maybe fell from the chair or was standing and fell over, but they fell over and they were obscured from where you were currently sitting, so it was like behind the desk, but you can see a body, mostly face down, so you can't really tell much beyond the fact that they're a body, unless you or somebody else on a subsequent roll goes to investigate that.
Cool.
Yeah. Adrian or Nasi, what are we doing?
My current idea is I'm holding the flashlight. Because I love her. I do, but we all know what her dump stat is. So she is
sure. I mean, you've got a lot of things on your character sheet, and you can be doing anything just now to you holding the flashlight. Sure, you certainly can. But what do you think you would be using or doing here?
I mean, I think she would definitely be helping, like looking around, not touching anything, but looking for things, any tests that might seem useful, any items, any information, helping move things out of the way for people without having to touch them, just right now being helpful.
Okay, noted. Then Adrian, what are you doing?
Adrian is keeping an eye and an ear out for anything that's in the building other than themselves, because there was that giant hole. So he's keeping an eye out for anyone who's trying to flank them, and also keeping an eye out specifically for any equipment that they could use.
Okay. I am going to say roll an investigation or perception. I'm going to give you disadvantage to what you're doing, but you still get to add the +2 of what Jordan was doing.
Okay, So
I will explain the disadvantage when you.
Perception. Let's do perception. Investigation. I don't know that it matters. Let's just do perception because he's mainly looking around. A 9 plus
2,
so 11.
Yeah. You are finding it difficult. Normally what you would be able to do is using your Omni tool kind of look for signs of life, heat signatures, that sort of thing, to be able to figure out if there are indeed other people here or any threat that you should be worried about. They are being jammed right now. So you kind of see that, that very telltale thing that we saw in the Mass Effect games of things just sort of pinging about, and it's really difficult for you to judge. You've never really experienced that before. I don't imagine the people that you've had to tangle with up till now have had signal jammers quite like this or this advanced. So while you don't know it for certain, you understand that the other beings in here are things that you don't understand, and surely they are the ones to blame for this. If not them, then maybe it is the building itself, but something is jamming, which, although it is a fail on what you were trying to find, it has also gained you information. Like, the fail has given you information of the fact that your signals are jammed here. So
that's not good.
No.
So our can't scan anything. Have to just manually try and clock whatever's in here.
Use your visual scanning.
You can do it.
Do my best.
I believe in you.
So I will, while I'm here, I'll have a closer look at this body.
Yep.
Looking for initially some indication of how long it's probably been here and what happened to it, but also whether there's any kind of access card or anything that may be of use to us getting through doors later.
Those are two separate things, so I would say pick one. You can either ask someone to come and help you or do the second thing on the next.
So the search of the body for stuff would be the priority, because the other stuff's largely irrelevant at this point, but would be of interest. So I'd be searching for stuff. Basically.
We're looking for stuff, so that's an investigation roll.
13.
I think they have a pass on them that kind of has, like, name and detail style thing, like a little staff pass. It has a number 1 on it. So either, depending on the way that this company likes to do it, normally if we're talking about security levels, like 1 is like basics and then it goes up from there, but it could be in reverse, so maybe this person is super high. It's unlikely.
CEO of the company is just...
Yeah. So you have a pass that is going to get you into some areas, you hope. So you don't have to use hacking tools quite so often. Very good. Anybody else? You can see Jareth has kind of gone down behind his desk where he originally picked up an Omni datapad, and has gone down behind the desk. Anyone else doing anything? Remember, you can speak to each other as well.
Okay there, Jareth?
Yes, found one of the presumably previous workers from this facility, deceased behind this desk. I'm just investigating to see if they have anything of use to us. Which they do. Apparently I have an access pass that may get me through some doors, hopefully.
Is that the kind of pass that we could clone up?
Not without equipment. I could if we go back to the ship, I could probably copy it, but I haven't bought any of the relevant machinery with me. We may find that there may be a machine somewhere on this facility that is capable of creating these passes, but as long as we stick together, we should probably be okay with just the one. Unless we can find a machine that will just unlock all the doors, and then that would solve all the problems.
Any chance you can figure from the past well enough what kind of machine would be making it? Maybe get a description so we know what to look for.
It appears to be just a generic staff access pass. I suspect there will be some sort of administration office somewhere that may have that sort of machinery in, but where it would be, I don't know. I suspect recognise it if I saw it.
Right.
So, any other setting intentions actions we're doing for the other three?
You know what? I think I would like to come around and see if I can't look and look at that and see if I can't get a cause of death from that dead
Sure.
body.
Medicine roll, please.
All right. I'm making no promises.
Oh!
Because we just quit.
Okay. It's definitely a success. So you're gonna know the cause of death. That's an at 20. I'm gonna sprinkle a few little extra things that you've been able to figure out. As you turn this person over, appears to be human woman. Maybe middle-aged, dark hair, long but kept in some kind of bun that has slightly, become disheveled and the falling over. As you turn her over, it looks like, me about to correct myself on types of description I was gonna give there. Whoop whoop whoop, lines of veils. It looks like natural causes is a bit of a stretch, but not shot. There's no wound in any way. Does not look healthy, and although has clearly been here a while, and so the things you would expect to see in somebody in conditions such as these, given the nature of a building that perhaps had certain functions maybe turn off over time, intentionally be turned off. It's hard to really tell that from this check, but beyond what you would expect for length of time, there is a sort of blackening, it looks like, perhaps to veins, but mostly it's just sort of like emanating from mouth and around the eyes. It looks more like what you would see, perhaps disease in some way, or viral. The exact nature of telling the two apart you can't do. Virus and disease, you have to go lab to figure that out, but something caused that person to die that is in that family of things. And because it is like around the mouth, it almost looks like the sprinkle for the nat 20, something respiratory. And I would say that you're smart enough to know, and perhaps just, you see some things when you live on Omega, and I would say the fact if something killed this person that is either disease, maybe virus, something along those lines that has respiratory, even if this station is sorted for gravity and oxygen and what have you, you do not think any of you want to breathe the air. And I would say the last thing I'm going to give you to honor that nat 20 is, I would even say, if any of your suits get shot or torn or takes damage, you are going to want to use your bonus action on your turn to mend that with Omnigel in lieu of anything else you could use your bonus action for to prevent anything getting into your suit.
Okay, so yeah, he kind of looks over, wait, and then I think yeah, this maybe not a maybe not a bio weapon, but definitely a hazard. Uh, gets respiratory. It looks like can't can't say what kind it is. Don't know. Well, know it's deadly. Can't say how fast it kills, but definitely keep watch suit integrity, everybody. Keep everything on. No, helmets never off. Even if we can somehow get everything going back up to wherever this is, unless it's probably still in the air.
Agreed. Seems sensible.
Oh,
Understood.
okay. That's gross.
Yeah. Yeah, it doesn't look nice. Again, I shan't describe because, but doesn't look like that was a fun way to go. All right. Adrian and Nasi, what are we doing?
Can I, while listening to this, kind of just look around to see what the exit points of this room are? Like, does it have just one door that leads to another place?
So
Multiple doors?
this area was a little more open plan as you kind of come past where the signage was for the different levels. There was an entrance and exit for lift and stairs, well, elevators. So I don't know the American word for it. The lift.
Get it?
And this is perhaps a spot where people might have come with queries. Reception is maybe a bit of a stretch to call it that, but it was certainly the welcome area for any customer services. The rest, it seems like there is a corridor in this area that goes further down the building. From like having gone down the side of this building, there clearly is other rooms, and one of them has the hole blasted through it for or in or out. Who knows? That there was Geth.
Do we want to continue and explore this floor? Because I'm pretty sure that's where the Geth were, where I saw them. But then there's also a lift and some stairs. I wouldn't touch them anymore if I were you guys. Bad.
Indeed, strategy dictates we shouldn't leave enemies behind us as we progress, but if we can progress without alerting them, then that would be infinitely preferable and less likely for half of us to not make it back out.
Right. So it's probably means it's almost certainly means it's the stairs, yeah. As we can't be sure the lift even has power, and using
Indeed.
the lift probably alerts anything that might be nearby.
True. So stairs. I suggest that if we do, I don't want to split up, we should use the buddy system. Okay?
Agreed.
Yeah.
Sure.
No telling what might happen.
Okay. Good. I'm glad that's our backup plan. Our first plan is don't split up.
Indeed.
That's preferable.
Okay, perfect. So let's take the stairs.
Okay, so we are heading downstairs. Nasi, is there a skill that you would like to roll in to try and achieve your current goals? Whether it is strategizing, figuring out what's on the floors, stealthing down the stairs, like just like something that you're adding to this moment.
I don't think I can perform my way through this, but can I acrobatics my? No, I'm kidding.
Just start parkouring down the stairs. I mean,
parkour. No, if we can figure out maybe what the next floor has, like if there's like signage or anything, to figure that out. So maybe like a perception check.
Yeah.
Okay. 17.
Okay. It looks like again, there is a difference in signage when a building is public facing, where they have to really be quite explicit about what is on each level, compared to a building that is just for a business or offices. You can see It looks like the labs, for the most part, are on the lowest level. The floor below you seems to be offices, is the best way to describe how it's being labeled here. So this could be individual people's offices with whatever it is that they were looking at. It could be multiple offices with computer systems. It's hard to really tell. But offices are next. There's some kind of staff facilities and equipment floor below that, and then labs at the bottom.
Okay. So we have offices, staff equipment, and then labs at the bottom. I feel like if we go to the offices, we might get even more passes. Also, what if we could, like, I don't know if it has a security system, we might be able to see what's happening currently in the other floors before we go down.
Mm-hmm. Looking for security, absolutely. Okay, good stuff. And finally, just to round off what we're doing on this floor, prior to figuring our way down, Adrian, what do you think you were doing?
Adrian's just keeping the lookout to make sure they don't get surprise attacked as best as possible. You know, it's Geth.
Sure.
he doesn't really know what they're capable of, but he's like, I will not be taken by surprise.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Do your roll for that, please.
Do another perception. 15.
Okay, very good. Yeah, you are pretty confident that should something try to ambush you, or if there is anything ahead of you, you are going to notice it ahead of time to give you guys the opportunity to essentially get a surprise round in a way. I know that obviously our combat operates a little differently, but I will still honor that system in giving you guys a free round of doing something to set up. Okay.
Nice.
Beautiful. So we head our way downstairs as quietly as we feel we are able. And we get to an area where, as described, there are various types of offices here. It looks like some are for... Stop yawning.
Stop it.
There are offices for the scientists, researchers, archaeologists, hard to tell, those sorts of stuff. Security appears to be down towards the left, and ahead of you, straight ahead, is an area that appears to have like break room / mess hall, and also an area that looks like it says residential, which implies that people, I mean, you would imagine if you're here researching, you're probably going to have to live here. So there's a residential wing ahead of you too. So we all can see that that is the way that this is spaced out. Security, actual like work offices, and then general staff areas, as well as a residential wing. Where would we be heading, and are we going as a collective for?
Should we look through security first, see if they have cameras?
Seems as good a place as any to start.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Getting in there, Jareth, I would say that this, for getting into the security area, looks like you need at least level 2 for security level, which your pass does not.
Right.
So probably breaking your way in or using hacking, however you guys choose, to get in there. But I guess the hope is maybe there are security people there that you can actually get passes off of once you're in there.
Well, I guess unless anyone has any alternative ideas, I will attempt to get this door open.
Okay.
Okay. Oh, incredible.
I haven't rolled the d4, but
Damn.
potentially it's 28.
You know,
Isn't
roll the d4 if you want. Let's see if we can get over 30.
31.
31.
Perfect score.
Yeah. Okay. So you still it. You effortlessly. In fact, while you're doing it, just the nature of this, I will say that any room on this floor that is behind a security panel has unlocked. So you're not going to have to, you basically told the system on this floor, nope. Let me in.
I'm the captain now.
Yeah. As you head inside, you are entering into a security area. There's a few spaces in here. Presumably there's going to be desks and cameras. There may even be equipment here for the security. There's a few things. Can the other three set a little intention of what you plan on doing or how you were approaching entering into this space for me?
I think the thing that's beyond like kind of continuing that just keep updating a little mini map. Aside from that, Jordan would probably try to make sure that we keep this. Let's try to keep this nice and quiet as we can.
Okay. Are we trying to stealth our way in?
Yeah, nice and quiet, nice and quiet. Soft 20.
A delicate, quiet 20. Yeah, you're able to not only get yourself in there quietly, but if you go ahead of the rest of the team, you can inform them of, the best and subtlest way to enter in here. So as a group, you feel pretty quiet. Very good. Anything else from the other two?
I'm thinking I'm just gonna help keep a lookout because my perception checks have been going pretty well. So I feel like it's better to have the two people looking out, just listening to see if anyone's coming down a corridor. Keep an eye out, be near the door.
So you're looking back towards out of this
I'm going
area.
in the room with them, but I'm just keeping a lookout to the okay. Where we came from.
Out in the corridor. Adrian, what are you doing?
So the cameras is like a panel of security cameras where you can see.
You guys don't know. Nobody's going to investigate the area, so you don't know.
Okay. He's gonna go and investigate to see if he can find like those security camera panels, so that if they can see where everything is already, that's definitely a one up.
Absolutely, yeah. So
investigation.
I would say investigation, unless there's something else you feel that you're.
I think investigation's probably gonna be the best one he's got. So let's do investigation. A 19.
19 is great. Yeah, you head in and duck down to the left-hand side where you can kind of see security offices seem to be inside of this security wing. Through one of the doors, you see not only there are indeed camera panels here, but there are 3 deceased individuals in here. All of whom appear to be security individuals for this place. But you reckon if you were to go over and use... It looks like they have their own security cards in some kind of way to hit this little panel on the desk that you have to kind of hit it to activate to get the cameras on, so that, a person couldn't just walk in here and suddenly see everything. You have to use your security clearance to then get the cameras working. But you have one, so you can go and rummage from them. I'm not going to make you roll, because the roll from Jordan was so good with what he was able to find, and you all, were able to see the bodies. It looks like the 3 people in here met the same fate.
Okay. He'll swipe the security cards and start messing with the panel. See what he can see.
Yeah. I mean, the place looks fairly quiet and abandoned for the most part, but there are at least 3 or 4 rooms or areas, sort of like wide open lab spaces, a big equipment, sort of calling it a shed is a bit of a stretch because it's underground, but large equipment, room storage spaces. There are Geth roaming around fairly freely, and actually you can see a camera further into this security wing where you are that suggests in a room that looks like it is where they maybe store their own equipment, maybe it's weapons, etc., or whatever. There is currently 2 in there. And you see one kind of like going up to a panel and putting its hand on it. But you can see that there are some very close by to where you guys are.
Okay. If they're not in the room with me, he will pop out real quick and he'll like motion silently for them to come in here.
Sure. Do we all follow?
Yeah.
All right. You're able to get in and get that door kind of closed for the time being. You guys can see the scene as was described.
Oh.
Open weapons room should be good value.
Yeah, Adrian will pass out the security passes too.
Sure. So there's 3 of them for you guys.
Yeah. So what do you want to do about them? Points to the gun.
To get to the loot, we're gonna have to take them out.
How many did you say there were?
There's 2 that you can see in that room.
Okay. Well, we could probably do 2.
Yeah, I can work a big one.
Yeah, I take it on more than 2 at a time. It's fine.
So I suppose that's just make sure we know the short way to get to them.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Okay. So who all is going down to this space?
Jordan's all in.
Adrian will follow.
It feels like it probably should be all of us, unless we particularly want to be splitting the party at this point.
Yeah.
Told everyone not to split the party.
Yeah. All right.
That never goes wrong. It's fine.
You guys have the upper hand here.
Just had war flashbacks to the Anarchs.
Yes, I remember the masquerade game where splitting the party really was not good.
Pretty sure I cut that
out. You all head down to the space. You have the upper hand. You're gonna have essentially chance to set this up how you would like. What is the plan? We have 2 synthetic beings inside a room. Door is closed. You know that they're there, and roughly speaking where they might be in the room, just from camera angle. You don't know where the camera is in the room, but you know. So you have a strategic upper hand here. What is going to be the execution? Doesn't have to be full-blown combat like we do previously, where it's like 3 rounds of things. It's just, what are we doing to take these guys out?
So let's see here. Is there one that is like notably bigger than the others?
They both looked fairly similar, almost identical.
So in that case, what Jordan would like to do is not biotic speaking, but like basically charge around the corner. He is going to give the old biotic 1-2 to the one furthest to the back of the room, which should leave everybody else to a nice clean opportunity to mop up the other one real quick, like.
So you're heading into use biotics against one of them.
Yes.
Okay.
Which Jordan's opinion is that that should get the other one at least turned around to deal with the obvious threat, and that'll leave it nice and open for everybody else to mop up behind them.
So that's Jordan's plan. What's Jareth's plan? You can also just strategically be like, here's what we all should do, and just execute a plan with everybody. It's just...
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm just Jareth's conscious that the last couple of times that he's come up with some sort of plan, he's then been the slowest to react and ended up the plan having to change immediately. So
Well, over the
he's going to take that
we,
into account this time.
We do get a surprise round, kind of, right?
Yeah, this
If
is
we
like
do it right.
it's not rounds. I'm just wanting you guys to execute a plan, and it will hopefully succeed if you roll well.
Right,
so it's not going to be 3 rounds. It's just going to be a very quick. Here's what we do.
Okay.
Well, I can warp cloud them, and we could that primes, and then someone can detonate, and then we can infect all of them, and then you guys can like shoot them. No, I'm kidding. Wait, maybe is that too loud?
So
that's pretty loud though.
I would absolutely recommend melee or biotics if we can, rather than shooting. I think on this occasion, Jareth would use target painting because I think he can probably paint the whole room, which means that it then highlights them on everyone else's HUDs and they will get advantage to hit them.
Yeah, perfect. So you're going to go in
Jareth
target
can't do anything actively in the combat, but he can.
That's okay.
He can make everyone else better basically.
Yeah,
he'd target paint the whole room. Basically, it's an 8-meter cube. So.
Yep.
Okay.
I'd allow you, if you want, just so that everyone's got something that they're actively rolling. You could try and overload one of them and then target paint, and then the 3 of you are going to get advantage of what you plan on doing. We know that Jordan wants to go in and give the old biotic slam. Nasi, are you going to warp cloud?
I can, but I was also thinking of just going face disruptor because we know they have shields. So to give Jordan and the rest like be able to just give a good whammy, and not necessarily detail, but like just story wise, weaken them for them.
Sure. And so is Adrian going to try and take out the second guy?
Yeah, Adrian will try and take the second guy out with his Omni Hammer.
Okay, fabulous.
Omni Hammer, awesome.
Yeah. The weapons in this game are really cool. Like the stuff in the 5e. Just a recommendation now that you've kind of watched us play through this. If any of you guys are interested, it is a really excellent system. We will make sure that we are linking to the player handbook. It's free.
Yes, across the bottom of the screen as we speak.
Yeah. So reskin of 5e, and it's just so intuitive. I love it. But only hammer, rad. So we're gonna have overload roll from Jareth.
Overload a save.
A save. That's fine. Okay, I will roll for that one. And then Jordan, you're going to be rolling for yours with advantage. Even if it's not like traditionally what the spell would do, we're just going to roll to see how cool we are. You've got advantage for that. Nasi, you're going to remind me.
Phase disruptor.
Phase disruptor.
It is an attack, but it does lightning damage basically.
Sure. So you're going to roll for that. You'll be rolling for advantage as well because everybody is target painted. And then Adrian is going in with Omni Hammer, which is also at advantage. So for each of you, the things that you were rolling, roll for them. And I am rolling to resist the overload.
And the target painting, is it? They're both DC. They're both Dex DC 14.
That's fine. Shit. And shit. Cool.
And obviously the overload means that they're both primed for lightning as well. So have fun with that.
There's like fireworks in this room. Okay. So we go in. What did Nasi get?
15.
Okay. So we go in and it's like, you stand behind the door. 1, 2, 3. Open the door. Everyone piles in, and immediately we've got things being overloaded. Target painting. Everyone's HUDs light up. You're able to zoom in on this guy's one rolling in to do a biotic slam, punch. And then we have our Omni Hammer hits going in as the sort of crackle of lightning from the phasic stuff from Nasi means that their shields are getting disrupted as well.
And it does detonate.
It's quick, yeah, but the whole room, like basically everyone's stuff is successful. It looks badass. We take out these 2 guys. Hopefully, I mean, it's not silent, but it's better than shooting guns. As we take out the 2 Geth who were in this space. With a little bit of success, a little weight in our pocket, taking the W, we are going to go to break for 10 minutes, everybody. When we come back, we can continue investigating this floor and then heading down deeper towards the labs, seeing what we find. Come back and join us in 10, everybody. Au revoir.
We'll be back.
Hi, everybody. Hello, hello. Welcome to the second half of the final episode of our Mass Effect special here in the Transmissions Descent into Hades. We are infiltrating a research facility currently. We have been able to have a little look around, found some bodies that have died of some kind of virus, disease, who knows, seems airborne, very dangerous. Made our way down to the security area where we found security cameras that let us know that the place is kind of crawling with Geth currently. And that some were very nearby in the security storage room. So, pass is now acquired. We headed in. We executed a fairly cool plan of various things we could do that avoided using any gunfire. We were successful. We are now in the security storage facility. Once we have done what we need to do here, feel free to just start calling out areas that you fancy going to, things you want to try and achieve as we maybe take out some more Geth, find some more cool loot, figure out what this research facility was researching, whatever your heart desires. So, we will come back into the room as you guys have finished executing your plan by executing some Geth. Their mechanical bodies have gone limp on the ground. That sort of static feeling of the Mass Effect fields dying down and the biotic powers have eased. What are we doing, everybody?
Do you want to see if we can salvage one for Prism on our way back up?
Sure.
I feel like we gotta hold off till we're sure we're clear. That way we can heft it up. We don't know how heavy these things are.
Oh yeah, I mean like on our way back up when we're done. We could. I could take a look at it. I could see if it's. I could make it pink. Not right now, but like.
Because that's the highest priority bit of making a Geth safe for an unshackled AI to live in. It's making it pink.
Yeah.
It has to be the right colour.
Exactly.
Yes, I think we could certainly jot that down as an option for our return journey.
I'm just gonna take a look at it, see if it's all destroyed.
Sure. What would you like to do with this being?
I would like to see if it's mostly intact. I don't know how it looks intact other than what I've already seen, but if it has any like wires coming out, big holes, stuff like that, that seems like it would be bad. You know?
Sure.
Just what visually.
What would you like to roll for that?
God. Engineering? I have -1 for that, but that just makes sense to me.
Sure.
I don't want to roll it, but...
Hey, don't let the dice limit you, baby girl. Who knows what you'll get?
13.
Okay. You know, you kind of fried it a little bit with the various charges and biotic abilities and lightning effects, so nothing seems to have created dents or scratches or holes in it. So it's probably mostly okay right now. It's a little hard to tell. This is quite literally completely alien to you.
Yeah. It's a little fried, but I think it'll be fine. You know?
It seems reasonable to assume that if you could replace the power supply and the neural center, which obviously we would be doing by putting Prism in there, then it should work. We've fried the electronics, but the electronics are just wires. They're easily replaced. Easily.
Right.
In inverted commas, replaced. It's probably many, many days of work, but it's easy. It's easy compared to inventing Geth in the first place.
Right.
Yeah.
It's all relative, right?
Yeah. Surely
totally get what
someone
you're
aboard the ship will be
saying.
able to figure that out. You guys
I know
have
The
what
fun,
harder
those
folks.
task will
pathways
be persuading
are.
that person to do it, I suspect.
Yeah, I guess it depends who you ask.
Hey, girly bum, no.
Yeah, like
Sissy.
there are some people who maybe will have more of a problem than others, but like your cargo engineer might be all right at it.
Mhm. Okay, where do we want to go from here, guys?
So I think it might be of value to investigate the lab offices or whatever they're called, the places where the scientists would have actually processed their
That's
data and that sort of thing.
that's gonna be the bottom floor.
Well, their offices are on this floor, I believe. It's just
Oh,
the
but the
labs
labs
themselves
are
that
on the
are on the
bottom
bottom. So
floor.
it may be that if the lab offices have the data in, we can retrieve the information about what they were studying and potentially find out what is safe or valuable to take. I would
Yeah.
posit that the contagion that seems to have afflicted many of these workers may well have come from something they were studying in the lab. So it would be useful to find out what that was before we ourselves come into contact with it and take it onto the ship and end up wiping out the whole ship.
That is a very reasonable hypothesis.
Thank you.
Uh-huh. Okay.
Agree.
She's
The
listened to
research
Jared
is
talk a
valuable.
lot.
All right, folks. So we are heading to the lab. Well, no, the offices. We're heading to the offices to figure out some notes. Okay. General roll if everybody is doing it and we're dividing up. We could be rolling investigation. Some of you might want to go ahead and keep a lookout to see if a room needs cleared. Others might want to go and be like, you know what, you guys go in there. There's a geth in this room. I'm going to go kick its ass. There are various things you could apply to here. Maybe you're just trying to look for a wall safe to break into to find some money. Just give me one thing on this floor you feel your character would be trying to achieve or find.
I would be going straight in for the investigation again. I think not too bothered about money so much as knowledge. So yeah, that would be the focus, I think.
So looking investigation roll for knowledge.
If the security office was on this floor, armory is probably not too far away, and guns always sell. Guns and armor always sell.
Yep.
Always. So let's see if we can't find that.
Looking for guns.
I want to look for money.
Okay. Information, guns, money. Love it. Adrian, what are you doing?
Adrian's gonna do his job and just start cataloging what they find, so they know what's in here, what they can grab on the way out.
Okay, well,
they're not going to be able to just carry it all down to the labs.
It might be worth looking for some sort of thing to carry it all in as well. Some sort of
so transport.
So you're looking for a pallet or crate or something
to get all their goods out and making a list of what they're going to grab.
Okay, so you're also rolling an investigation roll. So it sounds like we're all rolling investigation rolls, but for different things.
Yep.
Okay.
I got 19 with mine.
Oops, I accidentally rolled advantage. Didn't matter. It sucked either way.
I also
I'm gonna use my advantage.
It's all right. If you use your advantage, you'd be using your first number if you.
16. I use my advantage.
Okay. You know, Adrian, if there is a pallet for taking equipment here and there, it's not on this floor. It may be other floors. You're like, you know what? It's mostly just the pencil pushers on this floor.
Yep. No floor.
And the little residential area that's through the back as well, in the mess hall. Nothing here that will help you with carrying equipment. Okay. Next up, what is it? 16 Nasi got?
Yes.
You're looking for money.
Money.
Or
safe. wherever like the important stuff would be stashed.
Yeah, you do manage to get into a couple offices that feel like they're for higher end people, and go looking for wall safes to break into, and maybe even a couple little, like, it's on what is essentially like a data pad, but it's a device where you can kind of take things that were stored electronically, because very few people have physical money. That's the issue with finding wall safes with money. It's one thing that the game doesn't really want to clarify or give you any information on, is how do you acquire these credits.
Just
but you
USB sticks in there, it's fine.
Yeah, I'm just gonna take this cash. But you are able to get a decent amount. It feels like, in terms of payouts, I shan't give an exact number, but in terms of payouts, this is definitely a high paying job just for the cash you've been able to find in these rooms. Very good. Jareth, you are able to, you find a few things. It looks like, because there's a few people who are literally just pencil pushing certain things. Stop it.
Bless you.
Thank you very much. The accountant, the person who is there dealing with legal aspects to what they're doing, other people who are on payroll. Eventually, you do get to offices that appear to be the people who are here, doing the actual investigation themselves. And they were definitely here on this moon looking for an object. There has been several missions where people have gone out to different areas, trying to dig things up. It doesn't look like it's something that is, there's like a set of ruins or buildings or things like that. They're looking for something, which is why it has the archaeological bent to it. And it seems that efforts have been unsuccessful. Mostly what you're finding is people documenting things that they have not been able to find, and very little of it appears to be objects. One word I will give you on this level, and it seems like this person's full information is actually down in the lab, so you may get further answers to what this person is writing about in the depths. But one word they keep mentioning through this is the word Prothean, which is interesting. But yeah, they're very much here looking for something, and as yet had not been successful. I think because it was just information you were looking for. There is a moment where there's like a report that got flagged, but it was like amber flag. It wasn't a red flag. Red flag email of like, this is very important. That was sent around to certain staff here, and it seems beyond here. About something that looks like it could be perhaps not organic life, but like a microorganism of some kind. Unclear what it is as of yet, according to the report. And then nothing about it since then. Finally, Jordan, and Nat 20, you were looking for guns. My guy, you find so many fucking guns. Like, you just the area that you left from, actually, as you head into like a door that was locked, it's no longer locked. There's no lock left on it after you were done with it. And you go in, and it has multiple things stored, and fully locked away. It doesn't look like this was something that was like in frequent use, like the weapon locker of a security portion of a business that is needed for security very often, where they do patrols, where they have their guns, or, like if you were to look at something that was like within a police force building. The weapons are here in case they are needed, and it doesn't look like they have been needed up till, the point at which we now find ourselves. Were brought but not used, which means there's also a lot of ammo.
Nice.
So, quite the mother load.
Flag that up real quick.
Yeah.
That's money. That's money for days.
Yeah, that's gonna sell really well unless you guys decide to use it. Either way, quite the mother load. Papa needs a brand new pair of space boots.
Mama needs a brand new space of go-go boots.
Yeah. So, very good. We have had a successful little rummage on this floor. Some of us have found things that are very interesting and will help us as we progress. Now, the floor below seems to be further equipment storage, given that some of you have been able to find out, well, mostly Jareth, have been able to find out that a lot of the things that they're here to do is archaeology. It implies that a lot of the equipment might be archaeological, or at least things for supplies you might need for the labs. Maybe food storage as well. Like I say, there's the residential wing above you. So, do we plan on checking that floor out? So far, you guys have been able to avoid too much geth. It seems there was a few of them on this floor. Nobody wanted to go and deal with them, but it seems there's more of them in the floors below. So it is going to be something you guys are going to have to deal with. Yeah, because it's where the equipment is and the labs.
So it feels likely that if there's any transporting equipment available, it will probably be on the equipment level, so it might be worth a quick scan through there.
We can. And they've got to be here for something. Maybe that whole artifact business. Well, we can score that from under them.
Indeed.
If the virus/disease thing is what they were researching, could it be like they're looking for that to use it as a weapon?
I would not know what the motivations of synthetic beings would be, but it does seem like they are not peaceful in nature, so it would make sense.
And it wouldn't affect them, just organic beings.
Well, I mean, by that they can already get samples from the area. Like we already know it killed somebody on the first floor. I mean, it's already here. If that was all they wanted, maybe they could just set up a scrubber and wait for a while. Wouldn't even need to be here in force.
Yeah.
I suspect they're here for the same reasons we are, and just seeing what they can get that is of use. But
we could always rig the place to blow on our way out.
True.
If they got stuff in orbit, I don't know if we want to alert them with it. I don't know if we want to alert them with an explosion that big.
Put it on a delay.
Yeah, I can say as long as we're nowhere near it when it goes, it's fine.
Exactly.
Load up the rig as we're driving off. Just set the timer.
Yeah. And actually, it almost might be worth alerting them to our presence as we leave, so that more of them come down into the facility and are caught in the blast.
What are we doing then, folks?
Quick scan of the equipment level.
Yeah.
I don't think there's going to be anything we need in the residential area, so.
No, probably not. I don't think any of the food supplies would be worth having either, based on the potential microorganism problems that we might encounter.
It's true.
sometimes you find cool little models of ships and stuff in there. So.
You do collectibles, yeah.
And fish sometimes, weirdly.
So, know that when you go down there, the place does definitely have more geth. So there may be 2 rounds of what our intentions are down here. Part of that is going to be trying to secure this place or doing things to avoid. So basically, you can choose to roll an attack to see if you are successful, or roll a stealth to see if you can avoid it. If we're attacking, you may be getting injured.
Cool. Do we want to just try and avoid fights? Because I think that'd be great.
Yeah. Quicker we can get in and out, the better.
Yeah.
Sounds good.
Fights draw alarms. Alarms draw more fights. And eventually we might have bitten off more fight than we can win.
Mm-hmm. Okay. So, with each person, we're trying to avoid fights whilst also doing what we're doing. I'm going to ask that, as you set the intention of what you plan on doing, roll your stealth first, then set your intention, because your success of your stealth may determine whether you get hurt or not.
Okay.
20.
So, what are we? Sure. So, what is Jareth doing then?
So he's pretty much he's looking to see what equipment is down here with a view to mainly looking for something that is going to be helpful in transporting out whatever it is that we end up needing to take.
Okay.
But with a half an eye on just seeing what sort of equipment is down here. We don't really, or he doesn't think that we really need any excavating or archaeology type equipment, but if there's any kind of stuff that kind of jumps out as being particularly valuable or particularly useful, then it might catch his eye. But some sort of crate or trolley or something that we can fill up with guns,
sure,
and whatever else is the focus.
So you're fairly confident you've been able to get into the areas that you have on scene. Roll for me an investigation roll to try and find what you were looking for.
I will use my remaining advantage on that one.
Ho ho ho.
Bonus.
Oh, well.
One better.
You can see a couple of smaller, sort of like equipment pallets that you get in certain types of industry. It is not like a container that is easy to put lots of loose things like ammo and weapons into. A little easier. This is intended for putting slightly heavier equipment and making it mobile. So you find a couple of those. Doesn't necessarily give a solution for smaller things, but it is a solution to something, certainly. In terms of other equipment, it's a little hard for you to judge what all of the equipment is. Yeah. I'll give one thing, and it looks like, unless you guys find a creative workaround for it, you note it, but note that it would be difficult to get out of here. There is a fairly sizable mechanism, a machine, that by the looks of things and the sort of large cylinder that comes out of the top of it, and the way that certain pistons work, it looks like this is designed for relatively industrial, not super large scale like this is a mining operation, but a quarter almost for digging up sort of sections of ground. So it looks heavy. A size clearly for going into the service elevator. So it is possible to take it out of here, but it looks like it's heavy equipment. It's going to take more than one of you. And your priority would have to be on taking that out and not anything else. That bit of kit on your ship would be incredibly useful for various other things, but it's going to be tricky. Bit of a bitch to get out of there. So that is your findings. Couple bits. But you're feeling very quiet and unseen right now. Which is tough to do with these kind of things, given the hive mind nature of what they are. Anyone else want to set up? I'm assuming we're all doing stealth roll, unless anyone is just like, you know what? Nope, change my mind. I see someone, and I want to go and break his neck. Stealth roll,
We're all
and
looking
then
at Jordan.
what your intention is.
Knowing that there's Geth on this floor, I think Adrian's priority is going to be keeping the lookout so they don't get flanked or surprised.
Okay, well, roll your stealth roll first. Mostly what we're doing here is you're aware there's lots of Geth, so a lookout is not necessary with the nature of what we're doing here. It's your stealth will determine whether you get seen as an individual.
Ooh,
and then that may impact on what you're doing. So if you're going into an area thinking, you know what, I'm going to go watch my friends back, or going to look for something, as you do, you're going to hear that sort of like that sound of Geth noticing you. You don't know the nature of Geth to know that they are perhaps communicating to everybody else. But on top of this, you're a very perceptive guy, certainly when it comes to threats. You're aware that there is also one that looks different to the others crawling along the roof.
I don't like that.
Oh no.
Yeah. So you have been spotted. What now are your intentions for this moment, this floor, this scene? You gonna fight your way out? Or run?
Someone crawling on the ceiling. Oh god. Yeah, I think he's gonna try and signal as best as he can. They should get the fuck out.
So you're running?
Yeah.
I need an athletics roll from you.
Athletics, not acrobatics. There we go.
Yeah.
A 16.
You are going to be able to run out of the room where you currently are. I will say you are going to take a hit. It's not going to be horrendous because your athletics roll was decent. What kind of injury do you think you take as you're trying to run away?
The thing on the ceiling jumps down and tries to tackle him, but ends up just like clocking him in the back as he's getting out of there. So he took a hit to the back.
Okay. So you've probably got a pretty bad back and shoulder. It crunched a few things in there. So you're in pain. We will take that into account if you try to do anything that needs to involve you either heavy lifting or, you know, using your upper body for something. Okay. Nasi, Jordan.
Okay.
Stuffing around or looking for a fight?
I think I would like to see if I can't get Adrian like out of sight so that we do not start out like a Scooby chase down up and down these levels here.
Like I say, other people. I just want to something cool that you're doing on this floor that might give you guys things that you're acquiring, things that you were finding out, or your general approach. So, do you feel you were going for stealth or going for combat?
Stealth.
Roll for stealth first, and then we'll see what happens to you.
Yeah.
Excellent.
24.
So you know that you are being unseen. What is your intention for this floor? Like I say, there's potentially a lot of equipment. There's various things that can be either acquired or learned here. What would have been your intention?
So yeah, first and foremost, like his idea, Jordan's idea was, okay, I think they're here for something, so I wanna see what they're bringing down. Like what equipment are the Geth working with? Are they like are they just trying to figure out what's in here? Are they trying to like take some big excavator down and take something out? You know, what's up?
Sure.
What you got?
So you're scoping them out. I'd say it's investigation or perception, but I'm open to whatever you fancy.
I think I'll take perception.
Okay. And then we can wrap into this that you're helping.
Or not.
Helping Adrian. Yeah. You're trying to keep an eye on the Geth, what are they looking for? As you kind of come into the slightly wider open storage areas, you can spot that there are a couple that you're trying to avoid. Exactly what they're doing is a little hard for you to judge. Perhaps that's because you see Adrian suddenly barreling through and running away from a few Geth, and you can kind of join in the efforts of trying to help him get somewhere safe and secure. Perhaps you guys need to go through a door and close it. Okay.
You can get it.
Yeah. So.
Is there a door that we should open and close real quick nearby?
You know, there's several doors here with various storage areas, whether it's for the science lab, food storage. There is the area that has the equipment for actually doing the archaeology itself on the surface. There's going to be bathrooms. There's going to be maybe a couple offices here, break rooms. So there's a lot of doors here.
So I think Nasi would have originally gone over to where the equipment was. She's like, what if it could tell us what it found or what it was digging for, in the equipment, right? Mm-hmm. And she's like, it can't be too different from my scanning equipment, right? Mm-hmm. Don't listen to her. So she's gonna be in that room. She's gonna try and be messing with the equipment, see if she can get some sort of logs or anything from it.
Sure. I'm assuming you're going in stealthy, or are you going in looking for a fight? Okay. All right. Roll your stealth first.
11.
11.
11.
Yeah. While you're in there, you are going to get noticed. I will allow you to do your initial roll for investigating, and then you are also going to be getting attacked.
Okay. So investigation.
Bless you, Ben. Mm-hmm.
Thank you.
16 now, a grandmother.
Mm-hmm. You're going through looking through the equipment to see what it might have found. There are some areas that clearly have containers or canisters full of things that have been dug up that have been getting processed. The more raw materials seem to be here that then get sent downstairs into the lab for studying. You are going to see one container that whether it was like this when they first brought it down, or whether this is something that just because it's just been sitting here a while this place kind of was left to rot and ruin, you can see a part of it has kind of like burst, it looks like, almost, whatever the container was, and growing out of it is like something that looks at first black and sticky. Maybe closer inspection would suggest it's just a very dark green. It's kind of hard to tell, but something that doesn't look very good, starting to, whether it's spreading or growing or rotting, whatever the science is for smart people. Something has been making its way out of there. Whether this is connected to what killed them, you can't say with absolute guarantee, but you're thinking, that seems bad.
That seems bad and gross.
Oops. And you're like, oh, that's kind of, as a shot is fired, it misses slightly and hits against a sort of surface near you, as you need to run. As you are fleeing, what type of Geth do you think it is that is now in pursuit of you, and do you get hurt?
So I would like to, because I like creepy stuff, I like to think it's one of the ones that's on the wall. If any of you guys, I don't know if anyone has, I think it's Metroid Prime or Metroid Dread that came out, was a platformer, and there's this giant Geth kind of looking like mechanic dude just climbing all over trying to find you. So I like that vibe, that horror vibe.
Yeah.
So one of those. And I think that it just tries to grab at her, so maybe tries like claws, and maybe it's not necessarily hurts, but it does damage her suit.
Okay, so yeah, it kind of lunges at you. You end up getting a bit of a tussle. You maybe even fall to the ground with it. And as you do, you can feel that sort of like shift in pressure of the suit at first because you know you've taken a hit, but you guys can take hits on your suits and you do get injured underneath it, but it still maintains its, intactness. But you feel that pressure shift, and that's like warning light letting you know that your suit has indeed taken damage and is breached as this thing is on you. So you guys just hear a Nazi
Another
going, uh-oh. Yeah. I'm happy to kind of just now all throw free for all. You guys have various levels of success, various levels of needing to run around from things. You hear Nasi seems to be in trouble. What do we do?
So I'm suddenly conscious that I seem to be the only one left in the room, and that the rest of them are all running away because I'm just hidden in the middle of the room. Does it look like? Can I see any of the others from where I am? Can I see that they're?
You could probably see
running
Nasi now on the
Geth.
other side. Nasi started to run. I don't think got to door necessarily, but like got tackled to the ground. The others, you'd have heard a door going. Yes, as they are running, they are now out of the room. So you can see Nasi on the ground with one of these. You're like.
You didn't buy me dinner first.
You can now note, this different form of a Geth.
Okay. So I think logical, direct solution is I'm going to shoot the Geth.
Yeah.
Because I'm hidden, so I am much more likely to be able to hit the Geth. I also have a sniper rifle, which means I can shoot it without hitting Nasi, which is less likely to be the case with an overload, given that it jumps to the nearest thing.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
So I will take a shot at
take
the Geth.
Take a hit. Yeah.
It's an 18.
18, incredible. Yeah. You shoot at this thing. And if we were rolling with advantage, which I might have done, no, disadvantage.
I did it with advantage because I'm hidden and I'm a rogue.
Yeah, that's true.
It's also a sneak attack, which means an additional bunch of damage and disruptor ammo. So it should have hit it quite hard.
Yes, you will have hit it quite hard. Yeah. So, Nasi, you are on the ground. There's also you have a certain light and airy way of dealing with a lot of situations, but this suddenly everything feels very real. You have been hurt, and now your suit is punctured, and you've seen it cleared this place out. Whatever it is that's in the air here has killed people. So there's a sudden panic in you that maybe has led to you taking this quite seriously, and just as you're kind of feeling that sudden rise of panic, you hear that very satisfying boom sound as the sniper rifle is set off, and it takes it, hits it sort of like between shoulder and neck of these creatures. You see the disruptor ammo going off, and it sort of scatters to the ground, moves like it's going to try and get up, but eventually seems to go still. That's being dealt with. Nasi, you are obviously still potentially in some type of threat here. There are other Geth in the area.
Yeah.
Jordan and Adrian, what do you think you guys are doing? You're currently running away, successfully so. You guys managed to make it through and close it, but what are you doing?
She said, I'm sorry, Jordan. I'm sorry, Adrian, because you just got dropped on the floor. I've got a problem to solve.
She said,
Apologize to yourself. No, Adrian would definitely go with Jordan if Jordan's like, nerd. Adrian's also like, and we're going.
Okay. So you're trying to run back into the space with more Geth. Obviously, we are not yet down on the lower floor. Nasi, what are you going to do? You're lying on the ground.
She, remembering Jordan's words, she is panicking. You hear, then you hear the very rare, fuck, 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 as she is scrambling to get Medigel into her suit.
Well, it's Omnigel you need to
Omnigel, sorry,
seal up your suit. Yeah.
That one.
So you just immediate panic of like trying to seal it up. You don't know if Ethan has managed to get in there or not. You don't have a chance to figure that out. Nobody here's a
She's
medic
just scrambling, yeah.
like you're pretty sure that you've sealed it now. As the Omnigel takes hold and the fibers start to knit themselves of your
and
suit.
then she's just booking it out of there, which she runs surprisingly amazingly well with those go-go like 6-inch go-go boots. Okay.
Are you running to a different area of this sort of like storage holding area? Are you running out of the door as the other two are running into the door?
She is going to run with the group towards Jareth. Because that's where the came from that saved her. So she's like, that's safety.
Sure. We're regrouping.
Yeah.
There are other geth in this area, so much like before, I would just like to know a little intention of what you plan on doing to help eliminate the current problem. I would say certainly Jareth, with your history roll and the information that was given, you're more likely of the four to have clocked the fact if these guys are hive mind, there is a chance that now things just got a bit more dangerous. But yeah, what are we doing, everybody? Call an intention and roll for it.
I would like to, if we can see the geth, alter that gravity, baby.
Sure.
I want them to be lifted up.
Yep. Them and equipment, and sure, just take a spell that feels similar.
Yeah.
If not, just roll with your biotics.
Yep,
your spell attack roll, essentially.
I do have it's gravity field. Okay. It's a DC 13 strength for them.
DC 13 strength. Okay. Like I say, just roll an attack. Like, we don't need to.
Okay, just roll. Yeah.
Just roll for your spell. If your spell is successful, if you are powerful with your magic, then we could assume that what you're doing takes hold, basically, for anything in the area.
Okay, that's gonna be 21.
21, beautiful. Yeah, so you just, a sudden panic, you run, skid behind Jareth with the sniper rifle, and just reach out your hand to activate your biotic powers as an adept, and you sort of see not only the a couple of geth in the area, but also just containers as well start to lift and float in this area where you've created a little bubble where you've affected the gravity of the space.
Yes.
Very good. What about the other three? What are we doing?
They made her say. They made her say fuck. That's you don't. Do
yeah. Sure. What's Jordan gonna do?
Shoot back.
Shoot back. Okay. Roll with your weapon. We could assume that you were gonna try and take a couple of them out.
Up normal and blam blam.
Okay.
Nice.
Beautiful. Absolutely incredible. So yeah, you're taking out a few of them. Not only that, but like with precision, it's that sort of satisfying point in the game where you're getting really good at what you do, and you start just going for headshots each time, because there's just something very satisfying about taking people out with headshots. So yeah, you are absolutely taking care of business with that gun, especially around any that are coming towards you. You're kind of in the defensive mode around Nasi. Okay, very good. Adrian?
Well, if we're shooting with guns, we're shooting with guns. So he's gonna pull out his katana and he's gonna start opening fire too. So let me roll a couple of I got a 14 and an 11.
Sure. Yeah. So you are occasionally some of them are missing, but you are on target about half of the time. With trying to take out any more in this space. A few more are going to kind of pour in through any entrances or exits to this area. It will reach a point where the four of you are pretty confident you have been able to settle this. Jareth, have you acted in this? I know that you shot down the
I did that initial shot, but I haven't done anything since then.
What would you do?
Can I presumably I can see all kinds of chaos, like equipment flying around and death floating in the air and all sorts.
Yep.
So I think I'm gonna go for an overload again, just because it gets more geth than just shooting them one at a time.
Yeah. So you're watching all of this floating bullets now being shot by everything, and you're just gonna aim for a certain point and just be
just zap the one in the middle. Yeah, that'll do.
Beautiful. Yep.
And I've actually got a roll, so I can do it. 26.
And that 20, yeah. I'd like to think that just because of the way that the gravity is shifting and that sort of biotic power in the area makes the area charged and primed for anything that is electrical. So as you throw in your the overload, it actually detonates essentially what is being primed, just in an ambient way, with the gravity, and there's just this sudden crackle, and like not only them, but like some of the containers are gonna like break open, and there's just stuff now floating in the area as well. Nice. But it deactivates any remaining geth. Eventually, that biotic power will die down, and everything just collapses down onto the ground. You guys are pretty confident you have done what you need to do. That container that had that gross stuff was floating around and may have cracked a little. So, like, the space may not feel very safe, but you do have your suits on currently. So.
There's a gross container with stuff. My suit was breached. I don't know what's going on.
Yep. So.
Feels like we should probably get this finished as quickly as we can then, if you're needing potentially medical attention.
I don't know yet. I don't know what's happening.
Let's grab what we can and go.
Mm-hmm. As far as you're aware, Nasi, your suit has been repaired. You did take a hit, so you do feel hurt, but whether the breach has led to something bad or not, you would not be able to tell right now. Yeah. And you don't have a medic. Yeah. So you can grab what you can, and then head out. Are we heading downstairs into the labs?
Look, we're already here. We already did it. So we're gonna head down into the labs. If I'm infected, I'm infected.
Are you sure?
Yes.
We can come back.
Said yes.
Okay, fine.
Yeah. Jareth's already going down the stairs. It's like, as soon as Nasi said let's do that, fine, that's what we're doing.
Excellent. So we are going down, some more reluctant than others, but we head to the stairs and descend into the labs. Now, what kind of approach are we taking as we get down here?
Still relatively stealthy. I'm pretty confident. Well, I mean, we've just made a hell of a lot of noise up here, but if I can avoid immediate confrontation, then I will. So I will kind of sneak down the stairs.
I think we should try again on the off chance it just might work.
Logically, trying the same thing repeatedly in the hopes that one time it will work when it hasn't worked previously would make us less than stable mentally. But agreed, let's try.
Beautiful. So, if we're stealthing, roll stealth, please, everybody, as we head down into the labs. We'll see what we find. Beautiful, Gareth. So stealthy.
Adrian will try. He got a 16. Who knew?
I love it.
I got a 4.
Oh no!
So this is why Jareth went first.
Okay. So, we're feeling fairly confident that we're stealthy down here. It becomes apparent that whether you were stealthy or not, things down here have noticed your arrival. So the place feels dangerous. But as you come down here, there is one long corridor that heads off in a left and right direction. Why is that hard to say? And several doors that lead to different types of labs. They're mostly just numbered here. It seems that the larger labs may be down towards the right. Whether that has any bearing on what you're looking for is up to you. What would be the approach? Where are we going? What are we doing, everybody?
Did we ever determine actually what it is that we're looking for down here, or are we just we're just looking for salvage, basically?
The closest we got is question mark Protean artifact.
Oh yes, fair enough.
Protean artifact, indeed.
It's probably expensive.
Yeah, for shiny things.
Yeah. So we can go and look for this item in particular. We can look for other things. Whether they found it or not is a little hard to tell. I will say, if you go looking for information on that Jareth, because you rolled successfully and I said you would get further answers down here, if you were rolling to investigate by breaking into computer systems or data pads or whatever, I'm going to give you advantage on your roll.
Cool.
Because you already found that information out.
Yeah, I think that's always going to be his main focus, is to try and find out as much information as possible. He's also got a slight thought in the back of his head that for some reason the captain seems really pissed off about the fact that he didn't get the last artifact we found. So maybe it would be a good idea to find one while we're here.
Indeed. Okay. So you can do a quick roll for that, I would say.
26.
Incredible. So what they're looking for, let me just pull up the exact name. Something by the name of the Obelisk of Karza. The exact nature of what it is, they don't seem to know full details, but the impression that these researchers seem to be giving is that they are hoping to find this to help with translating things that connect to Prothean culture. It was a very small mini quest in Mass Effect 3, so, you know, if you guys did decide to find it and take it with you, we're altering one little quest line, although it is kind of big because it helps with building the Crucible project. But it's essentially like a Rosetta Stone style object. They have been here searching for it. There's like a moment where you don't know the intentions of why the Geth are here, but if they were here looking for this object, or at least trying to find evidence of it, that doesn't sound good.
Right. No.
Either way. So, they have, what I will say is they appear to have found a couple of things that do appear to be Prothean. They're not sure of its nature yet. And it says that it is in Lab 48 that those things are currently being stored. So, you know, if you wanted to go and pick up some very valuable loot, it sounds like Prothean objects probably sell for more than all of that money and the weapons you found combined. Quite the motherlode for a scavenger.
So it sounds like we need to go further down this corridor to this lab if we want to get the big payoff.
Let's do it. That's what we're here for.
I guarantee that's where all the Geth will be as well.
Well, there might be some.
Like the boss encounter, sounds like.
We've been killing them,
let's
so
go
then
prepared.
we'll continue killing
absolutely.
them.
Okay, so we're going to go in that general area. As we go in, I am going to ask you all for a particular challenge you as a character face as you enter into this room, and what you're going to do to try to overcome it. So feel free to get a little creative. It could be a combat thing, it could be something being locked away, it could be something environmental, whatever. But something challenging you face as you open up the door into this lab. Now this, it feels like, I don't know how many of your characters have really seen a fairly advanced scientific research lab, but lots of tables, various bits of equipment here that actually could probably sell for a pretty penny. The downside is if this is marked as being part of Synthetic Insights as a corporation and you were selling them on the black, you'd have to sell it black market and hopefully avoid a paper trail that it was you that was selling it. It's sort of like, marked money in a way. But the equipment is there. It could be that the challenge you're facing is that, you can see the perfect container to carry all your stuff in, but there's something in it, and what you're going to roll is to try and get whatever's in it out so that you can fill it with your own stuff. That kind of thing. So let's go around the table. What is a challenge you face as you enter into this room? There will be some Geth present, and there is clearly a couple of fairly hefty containers marked with some notes on it that could be where these objects are being stored. So, take us away, everybody.
So, if there are Geth present, I would like to say that because of what's been happening and Nasi's mood, she's maybe learned a little too much from Jordan, and her first instinct is to attack.
Okay, yes.
So she's going to just, as soon as she sees this, release Shockwave.
Okay, yep.
That hopefully just rips right through them.
Yes. So the challenge you're facing as you go in is Geth, and your way of overcoming it is shockwaving the fuck out of them.
Exactly.
Beautiful. Roll for that, please.
Okay. That's going to be a total of 24.
Beautiful. Yeah, you send out that shockwave. The lab tables and equipment that are in the way, unfortunately, also get hit with shockwave. There's some glass that shatters.
Yeah.
But it does take out a few Geth who just conveniently managed to, as they were filtering themselves to come and attack you between a couple of tables, it did cause them to line up slightly so that you were able to hit them. Love when that happens.
The moment I feel like Jordan was like about to go win, she's like, "No, it's my turn, bitch," and just shockwaves them.
Beautiful, incredible.
Learn from bestie.
We love it when besties learn from each other. My boys, what are we doing?
Boys are back down.
So as we enter the room, there are, I mean, as you say, there's a bunch of benches and stuff around. Most of them are just clearly just storage for equipment rather than actually any active experiments. But there's a couple down one side that have got, they were clearly work in progress, and there's stuff going on there that is just, it just catches Jareth's eye as he goes in, and he gets completely distracted, and essentially just makes a beeline for one of these experiments to kind of see what was going on. Sure. Completely just missing the fact that there's a load of Geth in the room. Just
God, small details.
This thing is interesting, and he's just absolutely fixated on it. So just completely misses it, and he's kind of brought back by Nasi's shockwave a little bit, but he's still very much distracted by this thing, so is kind of on the back foot in terms of reacting.
Yeah, but we're gonna go in and investigate. Is that what we're doing?
Yeah.
Searching?
Yeah.
Okay. So, listen, I don't know how many of you have played a computer game where you're like, there is a lot of enemies and they all need fought, but like there's also 3 chests here, so you guys can handle it, right?
Exactly.
And you go start opening chests while your companions start killing people, because you're like, listen, I have other things to do. I am the main character.
Absolutely, Jareth is 100%.
Make your roll, friend. Oh, you did, and it was incredible.
No, that was the previous one. That was
the previous
investigating
one.
before. It was better.
Okay.
I got
excited. Incredible. Jareth, or I am in fact specifically reaching out to Ben, who is my fellow obsessed with Mass Effect. I would like to know, what do you think they were investigating here? What do you find?
So I think they've they've heard of other protean artifacts which are not a million miles different to the ones that we encountered on our way here, that kind of have a lot of provide a lot of information in some way, and this protean item that they found resembles one of those but is damaged, and they've been kind of experimenting with whether or not the reports they've heard of some random guy interacting with one of these and getting a whole load of information about the Protheans from it is true or not.
Okay.
So and that's what they're trying to do. They're trying to activate one of these fragments of a Prothean artifact.
Oh, that's very juicy, very valuable stuff that you've found there, friend. I love that. Okay. Excellent roll. Jordan and Adrian, what are we doing?
Adrian, go ahead, Jordan.
Jordan was prepped to start swinging, but Nazi stepped to the plate. Nazi has stepped to the plate. She has made it clear, nah, she's got this. Therefore, we respect that.
Mm-hmm.
And we're gonna step back, focus, back up. Okay, let's back up on the job. And hey, look at that. We've got us, one of those nice, fancy hover pallets. We could definitely load up. Especially, we could definitely load up with that. Those things even go upstairs. And Jordan starts goes over, starts getting at us wait a minute, what are all these vials that are already dripping over? And the thought goes through his head, wait a minute, what if Synthetic Insights knew what was in the air too, and perhaps bottled some of it up for study later?
Oh dear.
And now they're tipping.
Oh, so what skill are you going to employ to deal with this?
Jordan is going to try that good old lift.
Beautiful.
Wait, no,
are you going to try and get these vials off the pallet so you can use it for your own things? And if so, if you're successful, what are your intentions with the vials?
So first, minor correction. He's gonna go with full to try and get them away in hand. And in his mind, this is Krogan raised. Bioweapons, nah, none of that. You don't get in that.
Destroy.
If he doesn't think he's got the tools to do it right, because just throwing these down on the ground, that's called putting more in the immediate environment.
Yeah, there's this old Earth movie called Resident Evil. Don't want to throw the vials on the floor.
So at least the immediate short term is put it at least put them down out of the way.
Okay. So first roll, we're just removing safely. So roll what you would normally do for your biotics to lift these things.
Yoink.
Brilliant. And you're over 20, so I will say, as you are lifting them, you get to choose where you are putting them down. I might suggest that this lab, given that there are clearly, various things of a biological nature, that there may even be an incinerator in the room.
Yes, yeah, let's go with it's hopefully hasn't been too badly smudged, but a nice plainly marked biological waste go here thing.
Okay. All right. Yeah, I will say if you do one more roll with your biotics just to try and do it safely, you're just looking for above a 15 to get them in the hole, so to speak.
Let's see. I think we've got one more advantage.
And blood.
Here.
Oh, sure. I'll let you bend luck. Bend luck first, and then you can do that. So what's that? Roll a d4?
Roll a d4.
Roll a d4. See if that manages. 15. Like we say, we need a 3 or higher. 3 or 4. If not, yeah, you might want to reroll. That's you rolling that. Okay. A d4.
D4. That's 3.
That's 3. We got our 15. Bend luck. Nasi, you kind of, as you're doing your shockwave, you see these vials going, and they're slightly, and as they're going, they're tipping slightly, and you're like, and just with a little sort of like flare of your biotics, you're able to help Pip that success.
Yeah, she's got
as these vials are put into the incinerator. What happens to this thing when it's burned? Who knows? But you know what? It's as good as we're gonna get. Okay, beautiful. So Adrian left, right?
Yep. So Adrian is of the mind of, okay, we need to get stuff, we need to get out, and we need a backup plan in case we're swarmed, because shit keeps happening to us. So he is looking for anything like a reactor or a big energy source that he could stick some grenades to that they could make blow if they need to once they've gotten out, so that things don't come out.
So
it would suck to lose a bigger payload, but at the same time, they would like to live.
Well, it's fine. You know what? We're in the end little stretch here of the game. We have about 10 minutes left, so we'll assume that we've been able to get stuff onto these hover pallets that Jordan's been able to get. The Geth have been getting taken care of. We found some very valuable information. You're now like, you know what? Let's just cover up any evidence we were here and also deal with any Geth that are left. So you can basically, what it'll allow you to do is roll your skill to not only get some explosives around or some kind of reactor core down here, but as you guys are leaving, just slowly start rigging up the entire place on your way up, and then hit your delay timer. So do your roll, and this is helping you guys cover that exit of yours.
Can I grab a body? A Geth body?
Yes. What kind? Which of the, because there's like the really big shock trooper style, there's the regular sleek version, there's the ones that were climbing up the walls.
I think the sleek version. The sleek version.
The regular sleek version? Yeah. Okay.
I'm going to definitely use advantage on this.
Okay.
All right, and he got 20 as his highest.
Beautiful. Yes. So, as you guys are leaving, and you saw kind of Adrian at work, you know the sort of things that Adrian does. So he's away doing his busy work. As you guys load up your hover carts, you are heading your way up, being careful how you do and making sure you're not alerting any further threats as you are leaving and heading to Sparky, your vehicle. Adrian, you're able to rig it so that not only the really big bad exploding thing down in the basement, but also, you know, all the way up through the place, so that you're pretty confident the whole thing will blow and maybe even cave in slightly, create a new crater here, and head back to your vehicle. At what point are you rigging it? Just driving away a bit of a distance? Are you going to wait until you get a little closer to your ship? I will say, given you guys had alerted the crew of the Aftershock to your situation, they did fly in a little closer to your destination because now they know where you are. So they are fairly nearby. Are we waiting until we are in your vehicle, far away from the research lab, back up on your ship, or the ship is already also flying away? At what point is Adrian?
What about on the vehicle driving away with the cool explosion in the background?
Yes, cinematically, that's the best.
Yeah,
that's the best option,
cool.
I think.
By science, it is. It has been confirmed. The deep lore is true. Okay, so you're rigging it for as the vehicle is driving away, Adrian?
Yep.
Sure. Okay. I think for flavor, you know, your vehicle is driving away. There is suddenly a really you feel it almost like it is an earthquake tremor through the vehicle. Becomes a little hard to keep control of the vehicle for a moment, and then eventually that sort of like series of explosions goes, and it does just explode up out the top. And it's interesting to see the physics of what an explosion is like in a place with very, very low gravity, and the way that the debris works, the way that the fire works. As you're driving away, it feels kind of cool. As you are able to get yourselves off sort of terrestrial surface, into the air again and heading towards aftershock, you become aware of a larger than the ship before, interesting insectoid ship that appears to be for the Geth. As you're getting into the ship, can I ask one final series of rolls? I'll let all 4 of you do a roll, but you're just rolling for the ship that is being manned by Prism. We're doing 4 rolls from Prism to hit this ship to see if you can explode it. If we can get more than 2 successes, that ship is going to blow, or at least become, badly damaged. If we can get 3, it's going to become basically inert. 4, the whole thing is going to, like a fucking Christmas tree. I believe in our important links and information. You should be able to find your ship. I would say, Jareth, I will allow you to employ some target painting because I feel like that's something that Prism probably has also. Yeah. And we are rolling. I think I will give you. Where are you, ship stats? I'm gonna give you guys a +10 because it's her reaction speeds to being able to shoot. This feels like something she is very precision with. So each of you a d20 +10.
Do they get the advantage from target painting?
Yes. Yep. So each of you do a roll. It doesn't matter. It doesn't have to be in an order.
26.
Smoke him if you got him. Roll him with advantage +10.
Whoa, with
Natural
advantage?
20.
I didn't do
So
oh.
30.
Oh, for double damage. Gee, look at all those. Oh, wow.
26.
Okay. Well, it's not just 14. Oh, yeah, it's 14. So the 14 one doesn't do so well. She misses one of it. It's just that she's kind of warming up and making sure that you guys are actually, your vehicle is getting into aftershock. But we have a 26, a 26, and a 30. So I feel like because the crit essentially is like 2 successes in a way, she starts firing with the ship's weapons as you guys are getting up and nestled and in the security of your spaceship again. You can hear the explosion, and if any of you manage to get out in time to kind of try and look some sort of viewing way, you'll be able to see as this Geth ship is blown out of the sky, and debris slowly starts to fall back down onto the moon, where your other previous explosion was. It's a very explosive end. We have very valuable cargo, both money, weapons, information. It was a good haul. Needless to say, you guys were successful in your mission. As we're pulling into the end, I have a series of questions for each of you to take in turn. We can do them in the order of our intros. I want to know, what does the next 24 hours look like for your character after achieving that? What does the next week look like? And what does the next year look like for your character? And just throwing a little spice, Satan, you'll get to see whether Nasty or not did in fact get infected.
Cool.
Cool. The answer can be...
It's great because I'm last.
The answer can be no. So each of you, what does the next 24 hours look like? What does the next week look like? What does the next year look like for your character for the ship?
Okay. Why do I have to go first? For 24 hours, that was pretty easy. Adrian is going to, immerse himself in his role, which is weapons requisition. So making sure everything is cataloged, everything is updated, put away, fixed, whatever needs happening. So he's getting that all squared away and working down with the engineers. The next week, there has been a lot of plans for someone's birthday.
Let's see if I'm dead or not.
So he would definitely be working on the final touches for any presents and or surprises for a very special someone. The next year, Adrian has no desire to leave this crew. Even though he is very intimidated by the captain, he has made it his goal to be like, you know what? One of these days, the captain and I are going to arm wrestle and I'm going to win.
Okay.
Whether or not he does, who knows? Because he is determined to be the male that Nasi looks at.
Okay. All right. Beautiful. Mm-hmm.
So I think the next 24 hours. Like I think like between like Jordan, Cook, and Nasi. I think like at least Jordan and the Cook are like going to like slowly go mad, like panic, searching, like like possibilities, uh, like leading to like increasingly unlikely, and ridiculous, like possible possibilities for what this might have been and why, like why it is somehow cancer.
Okay.
Like
Yeah.
just not just
They Google searched
every
it. They Google searched it.
yeah,
WebMD.
space WebMD, even less trustworthy.
Yeah.
Let's see here. Like I think with the week, some time to like actually like come to grips with what the reality of the situation is. Like yeah, okay, let's get back to getting that skirt, getting that skirt together, good and proper.
Edible go-go skirt. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So especially now that we've got this nice capital infusion.
Phoenix is very invested in getting an edible skirt for her for sure. Mostly because he wants to eat it off her, What am I gonna say,
Well,
He's doing a lot of eating that
dating.
night.
He's dating. They got benefits, and like as well. Like I think he'll also like try and like get back in that workout rhythm. Because okay, like damn, that's crazy. Synthetics.
Yeah.
How do I what how big do they get? And how do like got to be able to deck one of them too.
Oh yeah, the apertures. Yeah.
And I think for the year, I think yeah, Jordan likes it here. Like his is good, nice. Let's stick it out. Let's get really comfortable here, and like let's let's finally hit that real goal, namely let's see if we can finally get the cool co-pilot to actually like go steady.
Okay.
None of none of this, none of this. I, I'm I'm bored. Sure, doors unlocked. Nah. Come on.
Commit. Yeah, I reckon that you'll be able to wear Nova down. Yeah. Mm-hmm. You're going steady with the co-pilot Nova. I love that.
So, ever the practical. I think the next 24 hours is very much cleaning up, repairing any weapons, tweaking things, and writing reports because that's how it is, right? The next the next week is kind of he's still a little distracted by all the experiments going on with all the Prothean artifacts, so he's kind of dabbling with that, but also beginning to think about what other experimental potential there is with some of the stuff they brought back with them from the thing.
Yeah.
Obviously, there are other jobs happening, so it's not you can't just spend all your time doing the experiments, but he's starting to lean that way and actually kind of sets up a lab of sorts.
Nice.
On the in one of the cargo holds. Then the next year starts working with Avrash on repairing the Geth that they brought back to try and transfer Prism into it, because it's an interesting experiment. He has absolutely no concept that it could be a catastrophically bad idea, but it just sounds interesting. I think we could probably sort something out, and it ends up being they struggle. They try to get Susie involved, but she's not interested. But
yeah.
eventually managed to persuade Isabel that maybe
Yeah.
she should help because they needed another engineer. So the three of them spend the next year trying to figure that out.
Beautiful. Yeah. Will it eventually work? Who knows? Maybe we'll find out in the future.
Hi.
Very good. Hi. So,
So who gets to decide if I'm dying or not?
you.
No, you do it. It's
Roll the
your...
dice.
Oh God.
Roll it. Yeah, roll it. Odds you got infected, evens you were fine.
Okay.
Doesn't mean that you died, you know, maybe you
Yeah.
could find a cure.
Odds.
No. No.
Oh. Okay.
So I can tell you exactly what's happening at least in the next 24 hours, right?
Okay.
When Nasi got on board,
Mm-hmm.
the crew just saw her running again in her 6 to 8 inch platform shoes,
Mm-hmm.
amazingly, and she is immediately locking herself in like the little ejection pod.
Yeah.
Uh,
Okay.
and she is not living there. She's like, I am infected. I don't know. I don't know if I'm infected, and if I am, and something goes bad, y'all just need to fucking eject me from here.
Okay.
Like, she's all sweet and stuff, but like when it comes down to it, she's like, this shit needs to get done.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
She's not naive. She's just sweet. It's different, and also a little stupid. But
Mm-hmm.
yeah, yeah. Okay, so she's definitely doing that. And in the next week, I don't know, how does it develop? You tell me.
Yes, and we're improving here, baby. What do you think it looks like?
I don't know. I don't want to make all the decisions.
Well, you do have that. You have the benefit of an AI who is able to do scans with you, who would be able to find the next spot to go and try and find treatment for you.
Yeah. I think she would definitely just spend the next week just working with Prism. And you can tell she's off because she has no sassy comebacks to Prism. She's just focused. She's hyper focused on what she can do, and what she can do is Prism search this. And she will be trying to find a way, and she will be just isolating herself from the rest of the crew.
Sure. It's maybe bacterial, so perhaps you're being given antibacterials.
Yeah. So I think if in the next year, we can say sadly, this kind of took over her birthday.
Yeah.
But maybe in the next year where she's getting better, when she's given the green light, she joins back up with the crew. Maybe there's something different about her. Who knows?
Yeah, you'll got dropped off somewhere. All the gifts would have been given, including the little sort of like mechanical nuts and bolts, Darren the Varin, that a fresh made for you.
Yeah.
And an edible go-go skirt, you know.
Yeah. I think she definitely spent the next year. I think she wouldn't have done like video calls. She's like, I don't look cute, okay?
Yeah.
But she would have spent it like voice messaging and texting the entire crew and sending them little gifts. And crying at all the gifts that she got for her birthday and that she couldn't celebrate it with them.
Yeah.
And then for her birthday, she gets to come back for her birthday next year.
I love that. So you're back on the crew, and again, what will it look like once you're back? How might you have changed? I guess we might find out in the future. But we did it. We got our payload. We encountered some Geth. Some of the first people really in space to be dealing with it. You may hear on the news stories, obviously, as that year progresses, obviously it gets real bad. And the truths, or at least the truths that you're able to figure out about what actually happened, start to filter through, as Shepard is able to save Citadel space. It's great. It's wonderful. But for you guys, it's business as usual. Thank you, everybody, for joining us on this wonderful voyage of Descent into Hades. It was an absolute pleasure and a joy to run this game. Who knows, maybe we will hear from this crew again in the future. But for now, we will be signing off. If we can tell our audience who you are, who you have been playing, and where we can find you on the internet, and anything that doesn't feel time sensitive to plug, you can do so. I can start with myself. I am Emma Hamalu on the internet. I mainly do storytelling here on the transmissions. You will see me in various ways, shapes, and forms with the tales here, but I am sometimes on other channels too, so check out my socials for when that might be. I am also now on Start Playing if you want to go there, so startplaying.games/gm/Hamalu. Currently I have Mass Effect and Dragon Age games on offer, so if you want to be in a game like this, come join. I'd love to see you there. Everybody else, in the order we did our intros, who are you and where can we find you?
Hi everyone, this is Kay Phoenix, or Kay. I go by they, them pronouns. I had the pleasure of playing our little soldier boy, Turian soldier boy, Adrian Nix. You can find me on the internet on Blue Sky at Kay Phoenix, and you can see me here on the transmissions and other channels. Just check my feed to see where I'm at. That's me.
Well, I have been on that Sky Jordan, but on the internet I am Jossa Dyson. That's JOSADISON on Blue Sky, and my work is in the very recently released for a public consumption uh weird little guys. I've got a couple of fellas in there myself, and I would love for you to go look that up. You've got a link up on Blue Sky now for playtest materials. Have a wonderful time. Splash in some little characters for you and yours.
Check it out.
I've been Jareth Bow, the slightly misguided but always correct, obviously, Solarian Infiltrator. You can find me in a few places online as Old Mad Ben, but primarily I am the main producer for the transmissions, so referred to often as Producer Ben during most of our productions.
Yes.
I haven't got any other projects on the go at the moment, but there's a few kind of in the pipeline, so by the time this is aired, you might be seeing a few playtests and kind of new campaign systems coming up on the channel, so keep your eyes open for those.
We can't hear your
not
audio,
making any
friend.
sounds.
I'm not even muted.
No,
it's just the
now.
freaking Zoom
Guess?
audio thing.
It's fine. We'll edit that
Okay.
Yeah.
Hi everyone. My name is Satan, or Alyssa Vamp Art on the internet. I have been everyone's favorite girl, Nasi. Hopefully she's okay. If you want to see more of me playing a lot of different characters, you can come here. I'm playing in our Dragon Age game, Blood and Lyrium, where I play Phelan. Our Deluge Elf Mage is very different from Nasi. Very, very different. He's everyone's favorite baby girl in a different way. If you like to see my art is on this channel. I have contributed to the look of the channel, which I'm very proud of, with these amazing people, with producer Ben and Emma and everybody else that works on this channel. And so far, that's the only other place that you can find me is here. So here, no other place right now. And yeah, that's me.
Amazing. Right. On that note, thank you very much for joining us on this very special transmission story, Mass Effect Descent into Hades. We will see you around, everyone. Take care of yourselves. Goodbye.